Hello, people. Hey, Truth. Let's get it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am excited to get started. Hey, Sheree, I see you. I see you. Queen Nita, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. We're going to get started, ladies and gentlemen. Wait. What am I thinking? Hey, Gems and Jewels. That's who y'all are. Gems and Jewels. I'm talking about ladies and gentlemen. Duh. Y'all are my gems and jewels. Y'all qualified people. Y'all drop diamonds when people are spitting facts. So y'all gonna do all of that for me today. Y'all are my qualifiers. And we're gonna get started in a minute. I want to talk to you about kind of what I'm doing. So I know y'all saw last week where I asked the men, what do they really want? And y'all know they was confused. Okay, I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna criticize the men because I'm gonna let them have their moment. They were saying all this stuff, and this is what they want, and they just thought they was gonna speak freely, and I wasn't gonna invite the ladies back to get them. I am inviting the ladies today because ladies are gonna tell you guys what they really want. And I really want the men to listen because I want the men to be like, nah, that's too much. Y'all asking for a lot. I really want to hear what y'all got to say. So like men, for real, like when y'all hear something, I need y'all to drop some diamonds and be like, this girl's spitting facts. Like this is what I can get with this, right? But I know y'all gonna hear some stuff that y'all don't necessarily agree with as well, but that's cool. Don't worry, you don't have to do nothing. Just go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I will try to reveal every question if I have time. But I have some ladies on this show. I'm gonna ask them the tough questions. I really want to know what women want. And I tried to get ladies from all walks of life, single ladies, married ladies, every kind of lady. So I want to make sure we get a variety of different responses and that you guys really feel like, okay, I got an idea of what women want. Now, the caveat is that next week, not next week, Sunday, I'm going to have the ladies and the men back on the show. And I want them to talk about what happened on the first show. I want to call out some of the things that the men said. We're not going to recap, but overall, the men said, they want to respect. I feel like they didn't ask for some stuff too crazy, but that Mr. Rucker, I know y'all got some criticisms for him. So we're going to bring the ladies back next on Sunday. Whichever ladies, I'm going to bring some gentlemen back. Truth, you in here. I'm going to let Truth come in. And I want us to have an honest dialogue about what the ladies said they wanted, what the men said they wanted. Is it realistic? Can we get those things together? Can we accomplish that? Is it realistic? Well, we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, I want to introduce the ladies that's coming on right now. I have some ladies that will be logging in later and probably throughout the show, but I have my girl Shayla, and she is just a light. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, she is getting her master's. She doing big things. She about to get married. She is an amazing person. So I want her to come on through. Hey, Shayla.
Hey, how you doing?
Wow. Say hi, everybody. Everybody is excited. They loving. They're welcoming. I'm sure they're gonna drop some gems for you, because that's what we do here. We drop gems when we hear some stuff that we know is right. We agree with. So make sure y'all put her name so I'll know who you're dropping your gems for. Okay. Right. All righty, and then we have Miss Sheree. Come on, Miss Sheree.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, I met her and I was like, I got her back. First of all, she's from Chicago. Wait, we both from Chicago, so
right.
It's rare that I have my girls from Chicago like everybody who's in this podcast world or this YouTube world, they like from other states. So I was like, no, I gotta have some Chicago representing in here.
Right.
Like I need, because when Sheree was talking, I was like, she definitely from Chicago. I could tell by what she was talking about. So Sheree, I don't know if you have like an IG or you have something where you want people to follow. Hold on 1 minute. Before I do that, I want to bring on my last person, my one and only. You know why she my one and only? Because her birthday is on the same day as mine. And she is the most beautiful person. And I love them so much because they always support me. My girl, Miss Meek. Hi, Meek.
Hey y'all, my hair is all crazy. Hey y'all.
Now you look. Shut up. You look good. Talk about some my hair is crazy. You look great.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So, I was letting people know kind of what the rules are. This is what we do here. We drop jewels. They drop gems when they hear something that they like. Okay. So when they drop the gems, they're going to put your name and I will know like, oh, they dropping gems. Meek just dropped some gems, whatever it is. You'll see it. I probably will highlight the comments. We're going to pretty much piggyback off of what the men did last week. So I brought the men. JT was on Meek. And everybody loves JT. Oh, they was like, JT. oh, they loved us with JT. I had to tell JT, you got to come back on my show, like, because they love you so much. And we're just going to pretty much piggyback off what the men did last week. They really just poured their heart out, told us what they wanted from women. The overall theme was respect from men. Men, this is what they said they wanted. Respect. I was like, so y'all don't care about looks? I mean, I was trying not to call them out. I was trying, but I did call them out on some stuff. Like, but y'all don't care about. But they said they just, overall, that's what they said. So today, I want us to talk about kind of what women want, you know, and give all you ladies the opportunity to just kind of talk. Because I know Meek, you know, she gonna tell you.
I'm not gonna Meek. I'm a Meek, but I'm gonna be, you know, I'm
right, exactly. You're gonna be what you are. Hi, Hanifa. Hi, Mo. I am so excited. Y'all already know the rules. Drop those gems. Like this video. Subscribe. Like this video. Because I really don't even want to go on if y'all don't like this video. Okay, y'all gonna do it. All righty. So the first question, I'm gonna start off with the same question that I asked the men. Because I really want to know what type of men do you typically go after? Because that's important. So
who you want to go first?
Sheree, you go first. And I'm going to give you guys an example. An opportunity to share your IG or whatever, you know, whatever you guys want to share so people can follow you, okay? But Sheree, go ahead. You can go first since you asked.
Right. Okay, so are we asking what we want in personality and the physical?
No, what type of men do you typically like? Like, I really want to know what type of men do you typically go after, and what's your what type of characteristics do you like?
Okay. So we're gonna go physical first, and then we're gonna go to the other, right? Physically, I typically go for a guy who is at least 5'7". I'm 5'2", so as long as in heels we can be eyesight, I'm straight, right? And I guess that's the thing that I get the opportunity to be 5'2", that it's not too many guys that I can't go for, right? So then you have that physical. I also like physically fit men. I mean, I like them pretty buff. I'm not gonna front. Like a lot of women, typically, any man who's listening, I'm like, I knew they like. No, typically we like average size men. I just know once I see a man with big, broad shoulders and a chest, I'm gone. It's over. Big arms, I'm gone. I don't know what it is about that big. I love it. I just love it.
So you like them physically fit. Okay.
Physically fit. Yes.
Go ahead. What else do you typically go after?
And then I like the full lips, and complexion isn't necessarily too much of a, and we're talking black men. physical complexion isn't necessarily something that I could teeter-totter on. Preference may be darker, but I really don't care that much. Then if we're talking personality-wise, I like strong leaders, family-oriented, and gentlemen. Those are the number three things. Everything else can kind of fall in line because a guy who has those three things, certain things kind of fall in line after that. So those are my three things: strong leader, family-oriented, and a gentleman.
So do they have to have all three, or like if he's strong mind, like if he's a strong leader and maybe he is not really family oriented, you'll give him
no.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not moving on those three.
Okay. Those are
That's why
three.
it's only three. Because once the list get too long, you start, oh, maybe not this, maybe that, maybe this. Oh my God. No. Those strong three. I need those strong.
Wait, so he gotta be buff and a strong. He gotta be both. You ain't playing. Okay, girl, I got it. All right, okay. So Meek, you want to go next? What you typically? I'm curious actually, Meek, because I don't know if I know this.
Okay, so this is the crazy thing is that like it's two different types. So I have my physical attraction, and then I have the men that I actually am drawn to. So like, not gonna lie, if something about a dude that's like 6'3", 6'4". For those that don't know me, I'm only 5'3". But it's something about like 6'3", 6'4", like solid build. I love chocolate. Like chocolate is my favorite. That's something that I will look at that person and I will find them attractive physically. I'm like, oh damn, he look good, But those are not the men that I am like all the way drawn to. I'm drawn to like the geeks, the nerds, the ones that like, if you were in the party, people probably won't even notice them. They, you know what I mean? They're actually introvert. I'm extrovert, as Juana knows. And I like people that if you can stimulate my mind, that is like a major component for me. Like you can stimulate my mind and bring some challenge and in that aspect, definitely. I do think that like quite naturally we all want to place respect so high on our list, but I do feel like respect is one of the first things that's wavered when it comes down to like compromising and sacrificing. So what I will say is I'm when it comes down to the type of men that I'm drawn to, it's a certain mentality. And it's not just about like how he treats me. It's not even about how he treats women. It's just how he treats everyone around him, his community. Like, like how does he contribute to the village is a huge component to me, because like that shit with women can turn on and turn off, and it really shouldn't. I like those men that are just a good person. Like you're just a good person. You ain't doing it because it's me. You ain't doing it because I got titties. You doing it just because you just a good ass person. Also, I love if you have like a dope ass sense of humor. If you like shit like Seinfeld, like we can. I have never watched I've watched Seinfeld, so Seinfeld's not my show, but I just know that there's certain type of humor. Like, of course, I love me some Martin, so we can get down with Martin in Seinfeld. You got me. Like, you got me for real. So yeah. I think that's just like that's like a major for me, and like like for what Shabby was saying, like when it comes down to like being a gentleman, like that's why I just made it broaden where it's just like how does he contribute to the village? You know what I mean? Because I want that guy that like men look up to, or that like inspired to be, or that can like get some gems from, or something like that. Like, and what women look and feel protected. Every woman, no matter if you a stranger or whatever, where you just feel safe around that person. Like,
So he got to have a purpose. You want to
definitely. But also a purpose. And also when it comes down to monetary, because we can't forget that either. So like when it comes to monetary, like I'm not gonna put no number on it. Like, oh, you gotta have this much money, because the money comes and goes. I want a man that you can place him anywhere in the world and he gonna make something out of nothing. You know what I mean? You like how Diddy said, like, you send me in the jungle, I come out with with like a fur coat and some, what, you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
A mentality, because you got to know how to pivot. That man's gonna always stay wealthy, no matter where he is. He's always gonna provide for his family, his village, no matter where he is. The stock market is not gonna shake that type of man.
Yeah.
So.
You hit almost every point. She didn't play. Okay, let's hear what you gotta say. What do you think, Shayla?
Okay, Shalayla.
Shalayla.
So, it's been a while. I think that what Meek said was very similar. I think some of the things that Sheree said was similar. It definitely is, I guess, a physical and then a non-physical things that are desired. And then even honestly at this stage of my life, what I desire now is not the same as what I thought I wanted or what I wanted 5 or 10 years ago. It's just it consistently evolves, or should be, as a person evolves. So for me, my generally my physicals have always been teeth. I look at teeth. I'm a big person on that. I like a man with a nice smile. I'm 5'2". It seems like everybody on this panel is about the same height. And the funny thing is, I don't care for short guys. I mean, I won't. I'm not against them, but I've kicked it with a couple short guys. I'm like, he's short. Like, in my heels, we about the same. So I as well, like, at least 6 feet. I am into health and physical fitness. So just like you, Sheree, I like guys who like take care of themselves. It's okay if you're not like super buffed up, but I need it to be something to work with. You need to be solid, and you ain't afraid to get to the gym. And I am into presentation. So a man that actually takes care of himself and likes to present himself, like you said, as a gentleman, is important to me. I'm not saying like suited and booted, because I like a little bit of everything. I mean, I am into my faith. So you need to be able to hit church with me. You need to be able to step out and doing this and that. So I like a man that is diverse and ambitious. I think I might have mentioned that one. I'm a go-getter, and I always have been. So someone who is not afraid of their grind as well as mine. Like, it's not like I have, I'm sure we can all probably relate. I've dated a myriad of different kinds of guys, and I don't necessarily care for being the one where I'm always the motivator, always the encourager. It's like, I want, I need you to, like, I know you're having a bad day. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So someone who can take that weight off. Hit church, absolutely. That's what we do around these parts. Absolutely.
What?
He was like, hit church, absolutely. This is a part of my life.
I think men are surprised that you guys have physical characteristics that you prefer versus like
any old thing,
just money, or some women value that.
I find that to be interesting. That's interesting, because when I hear guys say that, I'm like, but don't you have a type? And I will hear guys go, I don't have no type. Okay, well, let's look at your baby mama and look at the last couple girls.
That's your type.
That's your type. Even if you like that, now I don't like her. No, but that was your type. That was your type. If you entertained it, that was your type.
I agree.
Temporarily, that was your type. Now, you can shoot yourself in the foot for picking that bad decision, but that's what it is. So, I mean, yeah, I have, physical preferences, but then, like I said, outside of the physical, for me, definitely, loyalty is really big. Stability is really big. I think a lot of women are looking for that. And man, that's just a leader, very much a leader. I am very communal involved. I do a lot of volunteer work, a lot of community engagement. So again, at this stage in my life, I am not into being self-absorbed, nor men who are self-absorbed. If it's all about you and only you, that us, what is it, us two and no more, or whatever, us four and no more. What else are you doing? Are you giving? Do you give back in any way? I don't care who is two, who is four. do you do something outside of yourself? Because that is where you really find purpose. So I'm really into that. So finding guys that like match my fly in that stance is really, really big for me.
So all of you guys, so Meek, you didn't say leader specifically, but you did say he had to have a purpose. Is leader?
You said leadership, yeah.
I did say leader because it's like it's something like because
Okay.
my thing is I also believe that the true leader always remains the student, right? So I love the man that's like always looking to like learn something. You can never like you can't be too picky as to where your lessons come from. You can have a conversation with a homeless man on the street and learn some good family values. You know what I'm saying? Like on what not to do or what to do, you know? So like the man that's always seeking knowledge, but also that's not afraid to share knowledge as well. So I guess you could say that, and that's what I was going to say. Why when she said leader, I find that like leaders is a leader is very important, but I do think that what defines a leader is
It's different for everybody.
It's different, but also I think it's misconstrued. Yeah, it's subjective at times. Like I do think that like what men think a leader is, and not all. I'm not. We all know that not all, but what a lot of men when they say "oh, leader" and I'm a leader, I'm like what they think and what we think. That's where we kind of like miss the mark sometimes. Like
okay, so you know what? Break it down for them because I think that that's important that they understand what we think a leader is. Because sometimes men are like overly aggressive and they think that's a leader, like real controlling, and they like, yeah, because I'm telling you what to do, and you don't do it, and that's a leader. So tell me, like, just give me like a small definition of what you all feel is a leader.
I think. Well, like, I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just mine's gonna be real short. I think that where some of them mess up is it's in you. It's in you. It's the essence you carry. It's the energy you carry. You don't have. It's not the physical. It's not even like the actual like verbiage. That's the reason why you got some men that are not as successful that are still respected. You know what I mean? Because it's something within them. So that's all I say on that.
And then I think also with a lot of men, they try to talk about this control. There's so many dudes that don't, like you said, in you, because there's a certain essence in the man, like you said, that other men respect, that even another man can acknowledge another man who is a strong leader. So that in you part is definitely there. But when I'm talking about control, I mean someone who knows how to take control instead of being controlling. So there's a difference, because a man who is controlling, there's actually insecurity there. And that's the reason why he feels he has to be controlling. Because there's some things he ain't got any control in himself. Where opposed to a man who knows how to take control, there's a situation or maybe a scenario pops up or something comes directly into our paths. Yeah. He knows how to take control of the situation. That's the type of man that I think a lot of women more so will be attracted to, because we do look to our men to be leaders. It's some men, some women are, that's why sometimes the manager or the supervisor gets some type of love or attention, because that's some type of notation of some form of leadership. Now, he doesn't have to be a supervisor. A man could be a leader without having those type of roles. Right. It's just an example to showcase our attraction to leadership.
I just want to piggyback on what you just said, because like I think I personally look at it that way. When we look at leadership, you can look at a business format and to help define leadership. And as a true leader, you understand your weaknesses and your flaws. You also are able to look at a issue or a problem and assess that problem, and then delegate the proper position for who's best. My wife is better at contractuals than me. So you know what, wife, I need you to look at this, or I'm good at, just face-to-face discussion. I'm going to handle this. Wife, you sit back. Being able to delegate in that way, I think that's a true leadership role. Like, to think that it has to always start with you and end with you, I feel like you're going to wreck the ship. You need to know who are all the prime players on your team, you know, your wife, you, whoever is the component of your household, and understand how do they contribute to this family goal of yours, you know. And if you can't do that, I think you failing as a leader altogether.
You're mute, Wanda.
Sorry, y'all. I'm talking about Hef. I'm like, what y'all think about what Hef said, his comment? Structure and guidance. A woman wants security. What y'all think about that comment?
Security.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Security is a huge factor. I didn't realize how I always said security, but I don't think I ever really experienced security until recently. And that's another thing I want to say is that even if a woman grew up without her father and had a lot of like mishaps in relationships, if that, depending on like where that woman is in her journey, you can identify a true leader. You can look into like, you know, the animal kingdom and look like when that silverback comes, and motherfuckers know who the hell is leading this pack. You know, I don't care. Look, I don't care what you thought or what you thought. You know who's leading this pack, and it's the same thing. And I didn't realize I had that until I came across that, and I felt that essence that we speak of, where I'm like, oh shit, what is this? You know, I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel like I had to compete. I didn't feel like I had to like prove myself. I also didn't feel what I said, because I had to let him know. So I think it's important that we let the men who are able to exemplify that know. I had to let him know. I'm like, this is one of the first times where I didn't feel like I had to brace myself. Because I don't know how many women walk into situations feeling like, wait, do I got enough money? Do I got my credit card? Wait, where's the exits? Like, and being on, you know what I mean, being on stand. That was the first time where I was like, oh shit, like I'm good. Like I'm straight, you know? And so when you come talking about security allows the woman to freely bask within her divine femininity. And that's a lot of things that us Black women do not have privilege to do. So security is huge.
That came up, that conversation came up. But I want to ask this question, because King asked, what's everybody's sign? He wanted to know, what's everybody's sign? he wanted to know.
Libra.
She's a Libra. Okay. What are you, Sheree?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm Sag.
You a Sag. Yes. Okay, King. So you got it. So her birthday is December 8th, like mine. So our birthday is on the same exact day. And I connected with a lot of what she said, but I feel like all of you guys have similar characteristics that you look for, with the exception of Meek, was she like the nerdy guy. She like the guy that's a little bit more.
No, that's eclectic. I'm gonna say not nerdy guy. I'm gonna say eclectic, because like you know, like the Andre 3000s, the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
okay, so not nerdy. You like those kind of like pro-Black type, you know, healthy, organic.
She like the
organic energy type.
I wouldn't say that, because I'm okay. Like if he's into like playing like video games, but yet he got all the keys and gems to the universe. I'm into that shit too.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay. So everybody right now, y'all need to like my video right now. Okay. And y'all need to subscribe actually. And get my damn likes up, because if it's 26 people watching, I should have 26 likes. Come on now. So Truth always, people, you know what, Truth, he want to know who married and stuff. I'll wait, and I'm gonna ask that later. The thing with men, they always want to qualify us based on our marital status. So I'm gonna hold off on that question. Okay, I want to ask the women: are women hypergamous? And let me define hypergamy for the audience, just so that we can be clear, okay? It's the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship or partnership with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. Do you think that women date up, basically? Is that what we do? Do we want to date somebody superior? Because that's what men think about us. What y'all think about that?
I want to speak for myself first. Absolutely. I guess I just I understand that sometimes it gets a little more difficult when women hit certain points in their life when their finances is a little higher than more than average. I myself, no. So since I'm not there yet, brother, you got to be more than me. You got to make more than me. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm hypergamous. I'm very hypergamous right now. It's just what it is. And when I reach that point, hopefully I'm married by then. I have a strong feeling I will be. I guess I answered somebody's question already, but right, you didn't want to answer that question, but
That's okay.
Along with it, right? So
if you want to share, it's all right to share, ladies. But I'm not gonna let nobody disqualify because you ain't this, that, and the third. Because what you gotta say is what women want, regardless.
Right,
you
married or not.
First of all, let me say this. Do you see how beautiful all of these women are? Okay, so these are the type of women that you probably want. It might not be what you get, but it's the women that you want. Okay.
Nice.
And so we telling you, okay, this is what is important to us, or this is what's important to them. So therefore, regardless of what man she got, whatever, and it's gonna come out, don't worry. But regardless of what they got going on in their bedroom or in their love life, they still have a point in telling us what women want. They represent women. Okay, because these are all women. Let's just be clear. Okay. Let's be clear.
Right.
So don't forget to drop y'all gems. Don't forget to drop y'all gems when y'all hear something y'all like. Okay, so what do you think, Shayla, about hypergamy? What do you think about that comment?
I mean, I think that I don't think it's limited to just women, but I do think that women do. Well, here's the thing. Like you said, not all, but isn't the whole object of in life not necessarily using, but to glow up? Isn't that what the term is, glowing up? So you're a dummy if you gonna date somebody worse than the last person that you had. That's called insanity, because you're doing the same thing expecting a different result. You should be leveling up. You should be wanting to be not the smartest person. You should be wanting to date someone who is smarter than you or better at you than something. That way they can complement and fill you in where you are deficit. So honestly, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, again, there's a difference between that and like, you know, using people. We ain't talking about that, but just on the strength, absolutely, yeah, you should be. You should not want to be with somebody that is like the last person that you had. Or why did you leave?
So it's something that we look for, but it's not the only thing that's gonna move us. Like, right, yeah, like we want to be with somebody that's superior to us, that's, you know, probably making more than us, somebody that's in a different bracket than we are. But that's not the only thing that you have to come with in order for us to want to be with you.
Not at all. Next level. And I don't even think it necessarily all has to deal with monetary. You know what I'm saying? That's a very small element. I think men place more focus on the money part than most women, to be honest. Because if that's the case, all the women would be dating all niggas that got money. And it's a lot of ain't shit men. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, look at the numbers. Yo. So therefore, we can say for a fact that women are not always going after guys with money. I mean, let's just be honest.
So true.
So that's a very small portion of the bigger pie. I think the bigger pie is not better, but just complementing. You know, again, maybe your specialty is. Let me tell you a secret. I am not good at math. I know how to count my money, and that's about as good as that go. And that's always been like that. So there are classes that I'm taking, my guy, he's nerdy. I always like smart guys, right? So I like a edgy but smart guys. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm like, look, this, and he like, I got you. He be taking my math tests and everything. Like, it is what it is. I don't care. The point of it is that he like, I got you. He is nailing this class. I would not be nailing this class. Let me tell you. That's real talk. But the thing about it is, I can lean on him like that. Like, yo, I'm not really good at this, or I got this going on. And he like, okay, let me see it. I got you. And it's a partnership, because I think it was Meek who said it earlier, something like, you know, you go off of, you said, are you paying the bills for us?
I'm in love already. He said.
I think it was Meek who said, you know, like about, you know, maybe he's not good with the face-to-face and you are, or whatever. And so this how we do, you know, like something's happening and he ain't got about, give me the phone. I get, because he know, and I get it done. Like, oh, they said they not, hold up. Oh, we getting a refund? Oh, okay. Oh, they said, and that works because he is a little, he's not as, not even aggressive, but that's just not his personality. So he's like,
not right.
You got it? Oh, I got it. He's like, no, I got it. No,
they know to get the women.
They know who to
we
call.
got words. We know what to say.
I know when the car be like, oh, I'm not going to have this conversation. Let me go get him. I'll be right back. So, yeah.
So this brings me to my next question, but I'll say this. My aunt was married to, she died a couple of months ago. May she rest in peace. She was married to my uncle for 50 years. And part of their relationship, she was the one who handled all the money. She handled all the finances because she was good at that. That's what she did, right? And so she took care of all the bills. She made sure everything was straight, you know. So when she, you know, now that she's gone, it's like, who's gonna do that, you know? But my uncle, he's a true leader, right? Ain't nobody gonna run his household. He running whatever. He's an old school man. But like Meek said, and like a few of you guys said, a man who's a leader knows what to lean on their wife for, what she's good at, and what skills she brings to the table. So tell me what you bring to the table. Like, because men always ask us this. They always be like, what do you bring to the table besides good and, you know, looks? So if we take our sex out of the equation, our looks, what do you bring to the table, or what can you say that women in general, what else do we bring to the table that men can finally put a character to what we bring? Because they always wonder and question, what else you got? We got a lot more.
I want to start because I didn't answer the first question, but
can you answer that though? Because I do want to know what you think about hypergamy. I thought you answered. I'm sorry, Meek.
Oh no, it's okay. I
do want to hear.
So in the beginning in my 20s, I didn't. I was like, no, love is love, and your heart loves who your heart loves. I am now in my 30s, mid 30s at that, and I am a hypergamist, but it's not like, it's just like how she said, it's not a monetary thing. It's a state of mind thing, you know, like, so like you just got some straight up bums out there, and no, love is not love. Like, love is not going to put food on the table. Love is not going to keep that air on, and love is not going to keep me motivated, nor ambitious, nor happy, nor any of that. And granted, that's not your responsibility, but why are you in my space if you're not contributing to that? And that's just how I look at that. So that's to that first question. But what I was going to say is, I had something good I wanted to say, and I freaking forgot.
You'll think about it.
Go ahead.
I do want to say this. So since you did mention this before y'all answer the question about what y'all bring to the table, do you think age matters as far as what you want? Like, tell me what you think as far as age, because like 25 to whatever, you may be more flexible.
I don't think it's actual age. I think it's maturity. I think it's a thing of understanding and comprehension. Like, because people can be freaking 39 and 40 and still have, you know, the maturity level of someone that's 10. So, like, I think it's a state of mind, and I think it's a thing of maturity.
I have to agree with her, but I'm going to be honest. Listen, I like them 35 to 42. I like a little silver fox. I like see a little gray hair in your head. I'm not even going to lie. Once I see that gray string, that little silver string in your hair, I am on it. Listen, I love it, especially when it got a little bit in the beard, and I love it. I love it. I love the little silver blonde, like, hey.
You said at 30, you think they gonna have silver hair at 30 too?
At 30, you ever met a 36, 37-year-old man who had maybe one or two little strings in there?
Yeah, like it's like 36, 37, 38. It start coming in, start peeking in.
You called him a silver back. I'm like, you ain't a silver back yet.
But now that gives me an indication that, baby, it's coming.
Playboy letting y'all know he got a little gray in his beard, just in case you know. So what you think, Shayla, about age? Age, like, does that matter? Does that impact, how you feel about hypergamy, all these other different things? I guess that's what I wanted to know.
Well, I can only speak for myself. So I have always dated up personally. It just happens. I think it's just the connection. We all know that women mature faster than men anyway, in general, statistically. So don't start throwing these crazy comments over there because they finna go, no, it ain't. Yes, they are. We know this. But, I think that there's like a balance. Typically when a woman is in her, mid to late 20s, she can date a guy that's about 30 and to be balanced, honestly. So I used to say no more than 7 years. So the last several men that I dated years back were like 7 years my senior. All ironically, like, 7 years, 7 years, 7 years. It wasn't intentional, it just happened. But now I'm at 10 and that's my absolute max. But it just kind of, it just happens as you get a little older, then you kind of find your niche. And like I said, it's just kind of what I link with better. I never have done younger guys or guys my age. Nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong if you cougar and do your thing. That's just, it's just my preference. But I think overall, I don't think that I wouldn't say that there's some kind of stipulation on that with women. Women can like what they like. However, I know I have a couple friends here and there, and they have decided to kind of dabble with younger guys or have a little side thing. And I'm just like, okay, have fun, but watch yourself because, eventually feelings come into play or whatever. And then you have this responsible woman with all these responsibilities. And then this young boy who don't have, he don't really have a lot to lose. So, after a while, it just becomes kind of mundane. I'm just like, girl, knock it off. So
I guess it depends on where you're at in your life.
Right?
Absolutely. Because it's like, okay, if I'm just ready to play and have fun, then
it's nothing wrong with
a younger guy.
Right.
But specifically women, we date older. Just like we date up, we date older. Maybe we feel like they're more mature if they older. Or maybe
that's not always true.
I think the thing is typically stability. Typically, because if you think about it, not older. I'm not saying they had to be, 50, but older, so he might have had a car. You was young, you ain't had no ride, or he had stable work. He had this, he had that, he had a place. Maybe you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a matter of typically most women see that as a form of stability, or maybe he can do a little bit more. I think typically that's probably the start of it. Now where it goes after that is a little different. But I think when women, kick it with older guys or start out, it's kind of like, oh, okay, he catch my vibe.
Yeah, but sometimes older men can be stuck in their old ass ways.
Absolutely.
And that's where I find challenge. Like that's the reason why I just say it's like a state of mind and maturity, because I've seen some dumb ass old ass men.
Absolutely. I will not be I will be the first to say that age does not define or is not mutually exclusive to wisdom. It's not.
Not everybody could be a silver fox.
Be a dumb fox. Absolutely not. But when you ask that question, like what we bring to the table, that's a very complex question. I read something where it was like one of those little memes where it said like if you place your dream inside of a womb man, like a womb, like an actual womb, but they said womb man, and basically, in a womb you give birth, like you're like birthing something, that you can see like your dreams manifest beyond your belief. And that's something I do believe. And I say it's complex because like how we said that essence of that man, like a woman that is like aligned with her divine femininity, you bring that into the house, she's going to flourish it even 10 times fold. And it's not on some like, oh, it's mine. Like, no, like she's pouring into you. Like, it's a guy, this guy that tapped into that masculine, like that masculinity that we talk about, that essence of a man. And like when I see him going into work and juggling his projects, I just have this natural, innate, feeling like I just want to just take care of you. I want to make things easy for you. Like whether that's a meal, whether that's a back rub, whether that's like, you know, needing a soundboard to just bounce ideas off of, and me actually giving you like good ass advice. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to do, like I did, like when I see that, I just all of a sudden I become like, this is what I mean by basking within my femininity. I just want to nurture, like automatically, like how can I help you be great? That's just how, you know what I mean?
So women, we provide that help. We give you that balance that you need in your life. I agree with you 100%. Okay, so what you bring to the table, Shayla? Tell me what you bring to the table.
Well, first I want to say, I think that's a very good. I think Meek gives a very good, like other perspective of it, as far as, you know, feeling, I guess, based off what you read, talking about kind of it being, I guess, boxed or kind of boxing something in. I think that's an interesting perspective. I never looked at it that way. I was actually going to say, I think that question is a great question. And honestly, I think that if you're getting to, okay, now if you just meet somebody, you don't gonna ask that, you know what I'm saying? But if you are in a relationship, I think that that's a healthy question to ask, and not necessarily what do you bring to the table. That's confrontational. But my guy and I, we asked this question. We actually have asked, and it wasn't like, what do you bring to the table? It was like, it was a, you know, just having a regular conversation. It was like, what do you feel like you bring to this relationship? And then I'll say what I felt like I brought. And it was actually very healthy, a healthy conversation, because you get to see first what people think of themselves. But there are so many questions that I really believe people should ask when dating. It would just relieve a whole lot of frustrations later that people don't ask, and they be like, I didn't even know. That's your fault. Again, that's your fault.
Absolutely, because conversations weren't had. But
Right.
also in the mix of it, like you got to think of it as like when you say a partnership. Like if you don't have it, like okay, we already made it past the attraction phase. Like it's now we both know that we're both drawn to each other, we're attracted to each other, and then we have that conversation as to what we bring to a relationship. It might not match. So even though you're attracted to this person,
absolutely,
you might not even be contributing
absolutely
to their greatness, and they might not even be contributing to yours.
So, which is why I think the conversation, so like
exactly. So if you dated somebody that wasn't good at math, that would not benefit you.
Ultimately. I agree, but I mean, that's why I think the conversation is necessary for that reason, because then you get to understand where people are and where you are. So when we had this conversation, my fiance and I, we asked, and my answer was, I do bring a sense of, I bring spirituality to the relationship. Number one. Number two, I bring organization and structure. I have slight OCD, but I'm just organized in general domestically. He is not. He absolutely agreed. You know, I am like making this house a home. That's what I bring. And then the other part of it is, what did I say? I think I said like, I bring sensibility. And what I meant by that, and I explained, and he agreed to it. I said, you know, oftentimes we will be having a conversation or be somewhere doing something, and he'll be like, he'll say like, I'll make a point about something, and he'll be like, dang, that was really smart. Like, babe, you got that. So, you know, when I said I think that I bring sensibility, I bring, women are the earth in general. So I bring that, like my wisdom. That's exactly what I said. I'm sorry. I was like, I bring wisdom. I bring, you know, and he said, well, you know, with the whole 5% nation and all that, they call, you know, women are that's their earth.
We're more logical beings.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
and so that's what I bring to the table. I bring a sense of wisdom, and he absolutely agreed. So there we go.
I agree, and I think that Shalayla, I'm sorry, what you said was a good point. Was that men don't really understand that you have to tailor it to the woman you choose, because there is going to be a difference in every woman. I think they expect all women to be able to clean, all women to be able to cook, all women to be organized and have wisdom. And sometimes if you're the man in a relationship, you may have the wisdom and she may be developing that, or she may be learning that as she's with you, or you may be a better cook and she may not be so great at cooking. So it's always about tailoring it and being a leader in the fact that you can recognize the skills. Because see, as a leader, we look at our team and we like, okay, she's good at this. She's good at that. So like this, how I'm gonna put my team together. And I think that the best relationships that I've seen is where the men know what they women are good at and like not forcing her to be good at something she's not good at. Because
absolutely, that's the whole part. I agree with that earlier when that comment was said. It's like being a leader is about being able to notice strengths and to be able to divvy out tasks, or be able to delegate. Say, oh, I recognize your strength, I recognize this is that, and to delegate according to that. It's the same thing 100%, Tawana, 100% in a relationship. Definitely. You need to be able, a leader is not just saying I got it, but a leader is saying, oh, I noticed this is your strength, or I noticed this.
You got that.
Right. You got that, baby. You got it, yeah. Right. And being confident and secure in yourself to be able to do that. And not feel less of a man, less of anything, not feeling like a simp, whatever term.
But can we say that we trust them more when we see them make decisions like that? And they're also like smart and strategic, like, oh no, like we're doing this because of this. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, but you can look at someone like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was not the smartest man in his company, but yet he was, because he was able to recognize the strengths and the weaknesses of his team. Quincy Jones is known like that too. He's able to see the strengths and the weaknesses and like connect those people. So all of those people that are able to, like, the connectors and the alchemists, you know what I mean, and all that, those are true leaders. And you respect those people because they're not afraid to admit that they're human and they're like, they have things that they're not capable of fulfilling,
Did you read the book Alchemist?
Yes, I sure did.
Okay, girl.
So she's not just asking you to be a nerd. She is a nerd too. So that's what y'all need to understand. She reads the nerd. She needs the nerd. So I mean, let's talk about. I'm gonna talk about. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say, Sheree? I didn't hear you.
I was gonna say I'm currently reading 12 Rules. What is that? Jordan Peterson. That's what I'm currently reading right now. Currently.
I haven't got that one yet.
Listen, that's one of those you got to read, put down, because it's just one of those. If you're familiar with his lectures, you get what I'm saying. But
these women are all like educated, beautiful women. So like you guys need to understand that women who are beautiful are educated as well. Like these women, they not just gonna accept anything. They have expectations just like you. They not gonna dummy down because to make you feel better. So we gonna have to learn how to work together. But we're gonna talk about that in the next round. Let me say this before we get into the meat, because really this entire episode, I really wanted to dissect and talk about what women wanted. But I wanted you guys to get a sense of what type of men they like. Where do they go after? Like what they think they bring to the table. I wanted all of that to be put on the table before we get to telling y'all this is what we want and this is what we look for. Just like y'all listed all y'all listed that. We're gonna talk about the red flags too. Just like I asked the men, what's your red flags? I'm gonna ask the ladies what their red flags are as well. But like you said, last week we talked about what the men wanted. This week I want to know what the women want. Next week I'm going to bring the men and women together. So I want y'all to come on here and I want y'all to talk it out. I really want y'all to call each other out because the men said some stuff that I'm going to bring to light during this conversation. And the women said some things that the men, I know they're going to be like, that was bull, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to come together. Okay. So let's talk about this. This is the final. Well, it's not the final question. I got another question after this. But this is the meat of this entire conversation. What do we really want from men in relationships? What's going to help us move to the next level with men or feel secure in our decision to date men? As you know, it's a lot of single women, right? A lot of women like, why? I can't find no man. I don't have no good man. I don't have this. I don't have that. So tell me what you think. What do you think it is that women really want from men? I know.
I didn't answer the last question either, so I'm gonna try to lead into
No,
it.
Sheree, go. I'll be moving fast. Go ahead.
I know. I was like,
I really have time for you to answer that question. I really want to know what you think about that too.
Okay, so I'm gonna use it and then I'm gonna lead into that because a lot of what I'm sorry, I'm not really good with names with the person right below me. I think it's Meek.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Meek.
Yeah.
What she said it was absolutely on point when it came to when relating to, and you were saying it as well, when in alignment of what it is that we bring to men, because like you said, whatever a man brings to us and pour into us, we're going to make it blossom. That's really what we do. Is whatever you give us, we multiply. That's what we are. We are the multipliers. We multiply whatever the hell you give us. And that's one of the I like to use. That's why I think I like a lot of what King talks about when he says rock and flowers, because I like to use men as the gardeners and women as the trees. Because when men nurture the tree, the woman is what she doing? She giving you life. She breathes in. She's calm. She gives you shade. Like she makes everything just seem so peaceful. So one of those things that I bring is peace. Because I like quiet. Listen, when I say I love my peace as much as men, I love it. So those are.
I don't know why they think we don't like peace.
I don't know
they think that because
I think because let's be real, Wanda. Now I get what you said, because I think some of that comes with maturity. We do have a lot of women who loves to gossip, love to get into mess, love to run around and act the dang on fool. Like seriously, that exists. So they need to say that. It is necessary.
But also, you have those women. We have that category,
right?
But then you also have, I'm gonna speak for myself, women like me that think that I should just automatically give you peace. If you come in and you bringing bullshit around me, I'm gonna let you know that it's bullshit. I'm not gonna sit here and cover it up and pretend like, oh no, it's good. I just gotta be your peace. No,
but see, that's why
absolutely not.
See, that's the reason why I said that's the reason why I wanted to use what I bring to the table to leeway to what men are talking about. Because I think a lot of times, just like men say they want peace, I think a lot of them are delusional as to what they're bringing a woman, and that's why they're receiving what they get. Because we really do observe everything they give us. We really are multipliers. If you give us confusion, you get disruption. No leadership. Ooh. That's why leadership is one of those things on my list. I need you to know what you're doing. You need to lead. So if you're leading and you know what you're doing, there's no reason for no disruption and for me to act a fool, because I know what's going on. You let me know, I'm following suit. Then you have men who don't even necessarily know. Like you got the man who, like she said, ambitious or don't know what they're going for. If you don't know what you're going for, how am I supposed to know that I'm getting security? I don't know if you're going to go out there and hunt. Do I know if you're a hunter? I need to be able to see that you're a hunter. And that's why the couch potatoes they're just good, sex objects, but that's as far as it goes.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the worst kind too.
But don't you know some women actually marry men like that?
Well, those
I think they don't marry them.
In my opinion, I've come across those women that like that. They like drama and disruption. A woman who naturally likes peace, naturally likes to be able to be prissy, do her makeup, go, hang out, decorate the house, feed the home, and go to work and come back home and relax just like you. She don't want that.
I don't fully agree, because we do have a lot of women that are not in that state of awareness. And I do think that when women marry men like that, they're not marrying those men. They're marrying the possibility or the like that they've created, the narrative that they've created in their mind. And that's the part. That's what keeps them there. Is that because I saw the potential. I see these things in you. But sister, if he don't see it in himself, it's never going to come to. So I think that's what keeps a lot of those, because I think those women want peace too, but have yet to walk into that awareness as to what needs to happen. You need to walk away. You know what I mean? It's hard. Walking away is hard.
Some women marry potential for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. I think that some women, I don't know if they have expectations because maybe they themselves are not in a mentally whole and sane place where they feel like they can have expectations or tell men what they want, right? They accept what they can get because they kind of feel whatever emotional voids they are lacking.
And there it is, emotional voids. Emotional voids is a huge thing. And it also goes to like not fully valuing yourself.
Right.
Like there's no way for you to fully value anybody if you don't fully value yourself. So like I think that plays a huge part in that.
So Shalayla, what do women really want?
I think some of the basic, as a whole, again, I've come to learn that so many people desire different things that it's very hard to group in, one basket of this is a list, because like you said, there's some guy who'll be like, oh, okay, she said this, that's all they want. And they're not like, it's not exhaustive. That list is not. But, I think some generals, honesty, loyalty, stability. I think it was mentioned earlier about in the comments somewhere about women being like too aggressive or too assertive. But what was said earlier, and I agree, because my fiance and I've had this conversation. He said, if I, when there was a situation, he's like, no, you're not too much of anything. It's just, you just need someone who will step up. If I step up, then you will fall back. And that's the truth. And so I think that women are looking, or, what we desire is someone that is not just stable financially, but stable in who they are, so that you can be dependable. Stability is like the top, and it mountains back to so many different things after that. Loyalty, honesty. No one is looking for perfection. If you are, she's not real, he's not real. Right. Nobody is perfect. It's just you need to be honest about who you are and what it is that, in terms of bringing to the table. And even before we even get to the table, who you really are and what your real expectations are. Sometimes expectations have to be adjusted. But what happens is guys will say, oh, she did this or she wanted this. But then what did you present to her? Did you present to her a different narrative than who you really were?
Oh, the representative?
Absolutely. And I tell people when the men are like, honey, you're gonna, the first 6 months of you meeting the man, this is representative. I don't care what he got to tell you.
Right.
You got to look past that. Now let's get past 6 months and then go from there, because now we're starting to get into real life where, you can only front for so long.
But when you say the 6 months, I think it even carries out to 6 months, because certain conversations are not being had.
Absolutely.
Because through certain conversations,
sure.
because before with certain conversations, you can cut that 6 months down completely. You know what I mean? Because you'll start seeing certain things.
Right.
I
would agree. I think with certain, absolutely. I would say 6 months with, if you are actually actively having conversations and stimulating, but for a lot of people, it's like, the first couple months they plan and, we here and there, and I'm not really, you're not really invested.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of, once you finally go, okay, not invested, like we finna date and be married, but I'm just invested, like, okay, I'm focused on what you're saying, because I'm really trying to find out if these are red flags, if I need to be weeding you out. I need to be figuring out, I need to be vetting you. Once you really get to the vetting stage,
that part,
I think then you can start to kind of assess what they're saying and match up their actions with their words. Oftentimes women, we are led by words. So it's like he said, or like you even said, oh, the potential. No, honey, you cannot seriously date a man off potential. See, men don't do that. They go out now. So you have to go off to who he is now, and then you can see the potential that he can grow. But like, what is his band? What's his capacity? Who is he now, and what can he grow to be? Versus is what you see is what So I think it's just a balance. But I would definitely say honesty, loyalty, stability, dependability is really, really important that women are looking for, because then we could be us.
Can y'all respond to this?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm so sorry.
Can y'all respond to this?
So I have to. First and foremost, I've been seeing the verbiage, and Juana, I'm really particular about verbiage. There is nothing wrong with a man being emotional.
Right.
What's wrong is that he's not giving the proper space nor the opportunity to learn how to properly express those emotions, so that way they benefit and better not only him but the people around him. So this stereotype or this image of an emotional man is because that man does not have the tools, nor the resources, and was not given the proper opportunity to learn how to do that. We do that. We learn. We've been conditioned to like how to deal with our emotions, allow ourselves a good cry, how to like express ourselves. Men, you guys have to chop it up. Men don't do that. Look, y'all go through the same emotions as women. And when we sit here and we talk about stability, we're talking about mental stability as well.
Stability.
We're not just talking about monetary.
It's so far from there. Yeah.
We are not just talking about monetary. We're talking about mental stability. I've seen it. I've seen, like, especially our Black men. Every time y'all walk outside that door, y'all are at war. That world, it's a cold, wicked world out there, and that world is out there to beat you the F down. And so when you come back in, we have to be able to recharge you. But I can't just recharge you by myself, love. You got to be able to recharge yourself, and that's knowing how to deal with your emotions and what you're dealing with. When that manager or that man is like trying to down talk you, demean you, or you get overlooked for a certain position, or you can't, or you didn't get that loan. We got to know how to process that. So it's not about men being emotional. It's, you know what I mean? It's about giving them the proper tools and resources.
Let me tell you one good word: therapy. Therapy.
Yes.
It should almost be a mandate for Black men, because there is a lineage of generational things that have happened over the course of time that is inbred. You have therapy is everything, and that's a lot of times how you get those tools. If you have not been brought up in a household that teaches you that, therapy, that's how you get those tools.
And I think the reason he gonna say BS, right? Like, I didn't see that. I saw the BS. Listen, I think that sometimes what gets confused is that there's a difference between a man who is emotionally mature and a just crybaby. Like, of course, nobody wants a crybaby, and I think that's the reason why sometimes men say, "Oh, women really don't want." No, we want you to be mature when it comes to your emotions. But like Meek said, sometimes you guys have not given the opportunity to mature because you're told to toughen up. So your maturity level on the emotional side is not the same as ours, because we were given the opportunity, because we're already labeled as emotional. So since we're already labeled as emotional, we learn to deal with our emotions early. Babies cry, boys or girls, before anything else happens, and that before the testosterone and the estrogen goes up through the roof. Before puberty, we cry the same. It's just by the time you hit a certain age, boys do not get that leeway to learn how to deal with it and mature about it,
and how to manage
difference,
and how to manage, and how to say, I feel like fill in the blank. Like, they're not even given that, like something as simple as that. And I know men say, oh, that's BS. Look, it's a difference from a man just straight up giving up and being completely deflated, because I can't deal with that, because that's too heavy. That's real. Like, and for you to expect me, because you was talking about expectations, for you to expect me to deal with that is very selfish of you, because you need to have that strength to like want to, you know what I mean, to like a little bit. Even if I have a little glimmer where I'm like, okay, you want this, I can work with that. But when a man is completely just like giving up and like, oh, I ain't doing shit, and like just checked out of life, no, we don't want that. We definitely do not want that. But if you hear you had a hard day and like you need you got some frustration, or you crying shit, something that just hurts your feelings. If I said something to you that hurts your feelings, you should be able to come to me. But also, it's also important for me to provide you that safe space to where you feel like you can come to me and be like, babe, look, I know you got a mouth on you, but when you said this, we can't do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'll be like, I would never do, you know what I mean? Like, I would never try or want to emasculate my man. And no, so I'm very careful with my words, but you just never know what is a trigger for anybody. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, you hear this, man, men, we want mentally sane men, or at least mentally whole, self-aware
Mental health.
I know some men who may be suffering from depression, but they're well aware of it. They know how to manage it. They do what they need to do to take care of it, and so therefore they can still be productive in a relationship. But a lot of times, what we're finding is that men don't have the room to address those issues and emotions, and we want you guys to do that because it does make the relationship better. So whatever you guys need to do, we telling you that we want men who can really be productive in a relationship and mentally, you're able to function.
But also as women, we have, and it's like when it comes down to creating that space, it's not about creating a space where we're comfortable. We have to be able to create the space where they're comfortable. And I think that's where some women go wrong, when it comes down to creating that, like, oh man, he don't say nothing. He don't talk to me. Why is it that he always hold everything in? Sis, look into you. Like, look into you. Why don't he feel safe with you? That's something you need to look into you for, So,
and I think sometimes also some women, to go up what you said, they don't understand that just like how men were hit with the be strong, don't cry, women are taught that men don't cry. So unfortunately, they don't even know to give a man that safe space. And also to understand that men and women think differently. We move a little differently. We have a lot of similarities, but there's some things that are hardwired in men and hardwired in women that are just different. And that's just the yin and yang of it all. So when it comes to when it comes to being able to give that space, that safe space, that peace for him to be able to relax and say and express how he's feeling and what he's thinking, you have to understand that give him that grace, give him that space, give him that opportunity. Because some women, once a man gives just a little bit, and a man will test you, he give you just a little bit, something he really don't care too much about. The minute you act the damn fool,
or you penalize him,
the walls are up, and he will never, he
absolutely.
will never come back.
But the crazy thing is, you said like women, we're taught that men aren't supposed to cry. But the crazy thing is, as Black women, this is a time to relate, because there's a stigma that Black women's tolerance for pain is like Black women don't, or that strong Black woman. And how many of us sisters is like, yo, like, I don't want to be strong today. Fuck, like, this shit's too heavy. You know what I mean? And it's kind of that, like, if any type of woman understand what a man might, I'm not gonna say we know exactly, but like go through when it comes to dealing with their emotions, I think the Black woman should be able to, give in light or give an awareness of like, oh, that's what that feels like. Knowing that by me expressing myself, someone feels threatened, or someone is like, oh, don't do that. And I'm like, I'm just expressing how I'm feeling right now. That's what men feel like. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of similar to what a man goes through when dealing with his emotions. Or like, a woman's like, yo, I'm in pain right now. Oh, you not really in pain. You good. And like, what do you mean I'm good? Like, how you just dismissive of my pain like that?
Listen, and Joanna, I want to shout Joanna out. Thank you so much for joining. When you're, when we're delivering, there's a history of nurses not really coming to our aid to take care of us because they feel like we're not really in pain, or they don't
even a feeling. It's taught in the textbook
that we're not really in pain. And so, me, I've had 3 children, and so I can attest to that for real, that I was like having to call 4 and 5 times, like, I'm in pain, what's going on? And I do think that that there's a history of that, and I'm gonna get into that later. But I wanted to just pretty much just like go off of all this conversation that we're having, just talk about, okay, women consistently, we want this. We want someone that has their mental capacity intact. We don't want men overly aggressive. We need men who have a balance, who understand the balance and understand how to lead. And we told you what we think leaders are. Of course, men, y'all gonna come on next week and disagree with everything we said and tell us what y'all think leaders are. Because I heard a few men saying women can't tell men how to behave. What we can do though is tell you what we've experienced and what we like, right? Because women, we like men. Okay, so we know what men we want. We know what types of men we attracted to. We know what men we want to be with. We know these things. So let's talk about, because I think a lot of women don't understand red flags, how to recognize red flags. What's a red flag to you that a woman should be aware of, or maybe conversations like Shalala said, okay, you should be having these conversations beforehand so that you already know kind of what's going on, what your partner's thinking, how he moves and how he feels. So talk about some like red flags that you feel like are important for us to recognize as women.
I tell when speaking to other women, younger women especially, I say, so there's a catch, right? I'm like, you always want to be looking at consistency. And I saw a meme the other day. Actually, a friend of mine sent it to me, and she was like, that's what it is with a guy she's dealing with. And the meme said, all the time you're thinking he's inconsistent, he's just not into you.
Damn.
And she was like, dang, you said what? Anyway. And so his comments, they wilding. And so the thing about it is I found that to be a draw. I was like, oh, dang, so if he ain't consistent, he ain't into you. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think sometimes that could be the case, but I think when talking to younger women, it's about like more so look at consistency with his life.
Right.
Not just with you or like across the board. Is he consistent on his job? Is he consistent with his family? Or if he has children, is he consistent with them? Is he consistent with whatever? Is he a man of his word? I think Meek had said it earlier, and that's one of my top characteristics for a man is like, I just like a man that's just like a good man, where across the board, other men be like, that dude's solid. It's not just about what I think. He is a good man in general, a good human being. And so I think, one of the things I definitely tell women is like, look at consistency. Does he say what he mean? Does his actions line up with his words? And, sometimes people gonna slip, that happens. But if you see a consistent pattern of that, that's a red flag, sis. That is a red flag.
I agree. Consistency is the number one thing. Because you already know, you talk to a man and then next thing you know, he don't call you no more. You like, okay, wait. I used to talk to him, but now he ain't calling me. And then women totally ignore that. Like, well, when he come back, it's like, oh, well, okay, he came back now. And then it's like, he'll go away for another 4 days. And they don't know what's going on with him. Yeah. And it's something there when it's not consistent. You gotta question, especially if he started off being consistent and then he fall off. So I agree with that 100%.
Finish how you start.
What's another red flag?
I feel like there's a difference between expectation and standard. And in the beginning of a situation, I do not apply expectation. Now I do have a standard and I do have non-negotiables where like, if you hit one of my non-negotiables and then I bring that up to you, like at the end of the day, you're not obligated to me, but how you handle that non-negotiable, it will serve as a red flag to me. Because some people are unaware how they show up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like how you say the consistency. So say like if he's a man and he's juggling like, he's that big CEO man that, a lot of women want, whatever. And he's juggling this project, and 4 days go by and you don't hear from him. But it's honestly because he does not have the time. So if I sit up and I bring this up to him, like, I noticed that we were talking, something fell off, and he just simply said like, oh, my bad, blah, 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 how he handles that will serve as a red flag to me. Now, if he comes off and he either fills it with fluff or he's dismissive, because you don't respect my time. You know what I mean? Like, and someone who don't respect your time don't respect you. So I think it's important for like women to set their standards, and everyone's standard is different. It's all custom to however your life is set up. and you within those standards you have your non-negotiables. Like, this is something I'm just not wavering on. You know, respecting my time is something I do not waver on. And if I see that someone is disrespecting my time or is exemplifying that type of behavior, I'm going to mention it. And if he's like, oh, you know what, my bad, like, you know, and not my bad, but, you know, like, basically shows like, oh, dang, I understand, my apologies, and okay, you handle it this way. But if you dismissive, or if you like fill it with fluff, because you do have those men that are like, babe, I would never, you know what I mean? I would never do that to you. And that's not what, you know, I tried to call you, you know, like that type of shit. You know, I ain't got time for any of that, you know? So
I agree. And one thing that you said, and I had to write it down, is like communicate with the man. Women, sometimes they want men to like read their mind.
Yeah.
And they don't want to communicate with the man. And you have to communicate. You have to tell him what happened. But also, men always feel like we nagging.
I was just about to say that.
Feel that.
I was just about to say that.
So
but there's a difference, though. There's a difference. And
Yeah.
I think it goes down when we talk about aggression. When we talk about aggression and when we talk about someone stating their point. When you are confident and you are aware and you state your point, you get in, you get out. Like, that's it. When it comes down to like someone with like dealing with a matter where someone may apply aggression, if that person is well equipped and know what they're capable of doing, aggression is unnecessary. Like, you get in, you get out. So I think that because women do not work on the tools of how to directly express our emotions or our concerns, that it then appears to be nagging, because it's filled with all this, well, you know what I mean, you know. No, he don't know. Like, say what you just say it, say what you mean and mean what you say, and get the hell out, you know.
Yeah, one of the ones that I would say is those little lies. I don't know if you already starting out with little lies immediately.
Yeah,
that's a big red flag to me, because then when the real stuff start happening and life happens, and like you said, the little fluff and the honeymoon phase starts to dim down. Those when the real lies come. So I pay attention to those little lies. Those little lies to me, especially after, I think part of it is because my pet peeve is someone who I caught in a lie. I let you know I caught you in a lie, and you still want to continue with the lie. So that, to me, now you're trying to challenge my intelligence, and at this point, you think I'm dumb. So now we have nowhere to go from there.
That's right.
Nowhere to go from there. So I think that's probably why that's mine. Like, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's
a good one. That's a good one. Because that thing about insulting my intelligence, yo, you want to get cussed out? I try not to hand out cuss outs. I'm not gonna lie. But you want to get cussed out, like, insult my intelligence. I'm not gonna cuss you out like motherfucker, but I'm gonna tell you about yourself. Like, straight up.
Like, a liar is the worst type of dude. And I think, so men, listen to us. We do not want to lie. Okay? So I think a lot of men say that they have to lie to us because we can't handle the truth. You know, they say that.
You don't know what we can handle. You don't know what we can handle because you've never applied it. So what can you tell what we can handle or not?
Because some men don't really want the traditional relationship. They don't want to settle down the way and they don't want to tell the woman because they feel like then she would step away, right? And that she wouldn't want to deal with him. And maybe she won't. But that doesn't mean that you gotta keep lying to the women. Right. You gotta tell them the truth. You gotta let people decide. You gotta let people determine what they want to tolerate and what they don't. Because you might be surprised, and some women might be like, okay. I've seen some women that'll be like, okay, he got this other chick, I know about her, whatever, and I'm gonna stick around. Like, so a lot of men feel like they can't be honest with you, or you won't stay around. That's why they say they lie. I'm not saying that that's why all men lie, but that's why they say I lied because I don't think you can handle it.
And that's how you know, because look, I literally today was having a conversation with one of my male friends, and he was telling me about his two girls and how they both know that they exist. And look, I know other men like that. I know other men like that. I know a guy who has his girl and him and his girl will have girls. So listen, it exists. It's just those men are just up front from the jump. And when you up front from the jump, listen, there's someone out there for almost everybody. Just go. Just be honest, because then all the BS that men complain about women, all this, like I said, if you give her disruption, listen, that's how you get it. You're not being real.
Right.
That's how you get it.
Everybody gets fucked.
But I think
everybody.
But I think the reason why men do lie is because they're afraid to miss out on the opportunity of having sex with that girl. I think that's what it is. It's a particular girl. They was like, no, let me get her what she wants to hear because I want that girl, and I think that's what it is.
But I find this funny because like on the last show with the men, they all said respect, right? And then we look at it like the steps to gain respect. It starts with being honest, because then honesty then builds being trust, and then trust builds security, and then security then unfolds into respect, right? But if we all starting off with little white lies and stuff, that's the reason why you never really fully get to that, unfolding of respect in the first place.
I agree. I think that men need to understand that we will trust completely a man who's telling us the God honest truth, because even if we don't like whatever the truth is, we are always going to respect it, because we're going to be like, well, at least I know what it is. I know how he is. I know him. And I mean, if a woman don't respect that, then you probably need to back off that woman, because that's crazy. Like, every woman should want to have the truth and should want to know exactly what's going on. Let me ask you this. How do you guys see yourself? Are you traditional women, or are you what they call modern women? And tell me why, or if you don't fit in either one of those, kind of tell me how do you describe yourself? Go, you go to Layla. I want to hear what she's had that smile like. What do you see yourself as?
Oh, okay. I would say I think I see myself as probably a more modern, slightly traditional, but I would say a contemporary traditional woman, just kind of making up its own genre, because I am in favor of many traditional, or I guess as we say, old school. I'm in my late 30s, so old school beliefs, things that I grew up on. I subscribe to a lot of, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think a lot of culture today, they're trying to reinvent the wheel. There is nothing to need to reinvent. With some things there are, and I'm not going to lie on that, but some things it doesn't need to be reinvented. We were supposed to take that and then improve from that and make that better. I think a lot of things in society, we don't went backwards personally. But I have some traditional beliefs. This is what also attracted me to my guy, my fiance. He's older. He has some traditional beliefs, not old school and like outdated, just, he not playing the radio with some things. And I really, really, really dig that. And, but I'm also a modern day working woman. I'm gonna sit home and, be barefooted and pregnant. And, I'm a working woman. I love what I do. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into a lot of things. And so having someone who understands that, and is with that as well is important. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, they got to catch my vibe. I don't think I would do well if I was with somebody who was looking for a fully traditional woman. He would not be happy with me, because I'd be like, who are you talking to?
So men do marry women who are not traditional.
Absolutely.
As y'all can see, okay? Because men say, oh no, you got to be domesticated and you got to be this, that, and the third. Men like modern women because they will dog the modern woman. I mean, seriously. Okay, so Meek, what do you think? How do you define yourself?
Same. Contemporary, traditional, because in the beginning, like when I was younger, I was like, oh, modern. But now as I get older, and then also I am a single mother, So I understand from like firsthand, experience, like the reason why certain positions and certain roles are set. Right. Now, where the contemporary comes in is I think that they're interchangeable. I don't think that they have to be like set roles. Like I said earlier, it's all about who is good at what, and like what keeps us in a state of like progression, like what keeps us moving forward. So but me personally, I'm very traditional. Like, I'm here baking cookies, I'm cooking, like I want to help the kids with the homework. But I'm also in pursuit of becoming a marriage family counselor myself. So it's kind of like, of both. And I would like to have a partner that kind of like has the same, thing as well, where it's like he respects what my goals are and how I look at things and how I run the house, but also understand that like I'm not going to be cooking every single day. Like, you know what I mean? Like that meal is not going to come every single day. I love cooking and I don't mind cooking for anyone, but if he has to get in the kitchen, he ain't over here throwing a bitch fit about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What you say, Sheree? Modern or traditional? Or you contemporary like the other lady?
Well, see, I would have to lean on that, the contemporary part. And I think that's because a lot of us are not necessarily raised to be traditional. And then on top of that, men are not raised to be traditional. So it's kind of a crazy thing that we even try to have this type of conversation about traditional ways, because nobody was raised to be traditional. It's not too many of us that were raised to be traditional. No. There's not a lot of traditional men. There's not a lot of traditional women. A lot of us are very modern. But of course, a lot of us do like to add on the traditional because traditional ways do tend to work. The thing is, in modern times, you mix it up a little bit and you come up with this contemporary. It is what it is.
Okay? Yeah.
I believe most women are contemporary in this day and age because most homes is dual income homes. Yes. Women work, the men work. Women are educated. The man may be educated as well. He may have a higher education, but we're both educated. And so we are both mixing, responsibilities, right?
And right. Also, one of the things that I want to say real quick is one of the things that I think there was a time where women stayed home out of necessity because we didn't have the opportunity to go after goals and careers and things of that sort, right? And then, I mean, even how much before we couldn't even get a job, and we was only subject to certain jobs. And then when we did get certain jobs, we weren't paid the same. So things are different now. And not to mention, men used to be able to have one union job and feed a family of 5. That no longer exists.
Yeah. So cost of living requires too.
Exactly. The cost of living is different. So if you're not able to pay or can afford a family of 5 on just a single income, your home is not going to be necessarily traditional. Now, there may be ways of where traditional things happen. He may be paying the bulk of the bills. You're doing most of the domestic things in a home, and he's doing a lot of the other things. That's where a lot of the traditional ways happen within a home. Though mommy is still probably paying the light bills, or just, I'm saying light as in like not heavy bills, and bringing in the groceries, and papa's still taking out the trash, and mama's still cooking dinner. So those traditional ways still tend to happen because women do tend to be more domestic, and men tend to be more aggressive and more with the hands-on type handiwork anyway. So that's kind of a natural thing. Just because we're men and women, that's just not something that's going to change,
right?
But when it comes with the times changing and the income and money and all of that, you just kind of get with the time. So it's a mixture. It's just happened to be that way.
So Tristan wants you to clarify your comment of Black men could have just one job back then. Is that what you said, or what did you mean by that comment?
No, I mean, could have a union job, and we know daddy could work
actually true.
In the meal and pay for the whole house. I know that was
people used to work at Ford. People used to work at Ford and send their babies to college.
Exactly.
So that's actually true. But I was like, because we're talking like she mentioned a lot about the modernism of the contemporary traditional, and what the reason why I throw in the traditional is, like I said, I'm a mother, and so what I realized is I got one-on-one experience when it comes down to these systems. When I talk about systems, I'm talking about healthcare systems and school systems, and where I've realized is that we as a community of people have developed a codependency on these systems that are not built for us. So we do need that anchor in the house. Now, I know a lot of women are not going to agree with what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you can't have your career, but both parents can't be completely withdrawn from the house while you're raising kids in that nest, because something is going to get lost and something is going to get dropped because those systems are not built for us. So when I say like I'm traditional, I realize that like like that is needed for me to be the mother that I want to be. You know, I'm the mother that's here not only checking homework, I'm giving extra homework. You got to do the school assignment and you got to do the assignment, because I need to know where you're at. That school is going to classify you as less than automatically. And this is not even just no hearsay. My son actually went through this, and because I taught him at home, I knew where he was, and I was able to advocate for my son properly. And I think that's a lot. Like, we have to think about the children aspect as well. So that's the reason why I throw the traditional part in there. It's like, yeah, I have things that feed my mind, feed my brain, like me pursuing my degree, but I also need that partner where like our home is stable enough where we can raise, good stable children. You know what I'm trying to say?
So you more traditional than you think, me, because modern women, we gonna get a nanny.
A nanny. No, right. No, right. But see, I'm thinking about my current situation now.
Yeah.
If I have a practice and my man is also busting his ass, and I'm able to seek out because I'm not a natural teacher. So if I could get a nanny right now, I definitely would be able to. But what I'm saying is that anchor is important.
Right.
So whether we both agree and say this is what we doing, but that's not what's happening, Wanda. Like, that's like the harsh reality is that everybody's out in the field chasing the bag, and the kids are left at home, and they are victimized and penalized in this system that's not built for them. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, absolutely. I agree with you, but like I'm like, nah, like
that's true though. You got to be here because you got to watch them kids. Even I needed to be watched back then when my mama was working. I'm like, Ma, you probably need to watch me. I'm not. I'm going down the wrong path here. And I stayed down the street from Dunbar, so you already know. I was having parties like, y'all come to my house.
You stayed down the street from Dunbar?
It's usually like that. I stayed on the other side of Dunbar, and if I was in junior high, I'm from the west side. I lived across the street from my junior high, so I already understand.
I can't talk. I went to South Shore. I can't talk.
Oh, you went to South Shore, Lord. Okay.
We ain't even gonna get to that.
This is some Chicago stuff. We sorry, y'all. We had to do a Chicago moment. Meek was like, what is going on? But all Chicago folks is like, oh yeah, she went there. Oh, okay. They know they placing us based on where they judging us too, Meek. Right. Like, oh, she went to Dunbar, really? Oh, they went to South Shore. Oh, okay. So do you guys want love, or tell me what's your end goal? Do you want love? Do you want marriage? Do you want a partnership, polygamy? Like, what do you want? What is your goal?
I want to say this real quick about polygamy, just because you said polygamy. She can go first. I just want to say this. I learned the difference between polygamy and polygamy. Yeah.
Okay, we have to explain that when you're ready to go, because I know it's polyamory, but I ain't heard of polygamy. Girl, come on, tell me about that. Okay, go ahead. So since you're talking, let me hear about it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing: when a lot of people hear polygamy, they don't understand that means that either woman or man can have multiple wives or husbands. When it comes to polygamy, that's strictly a man having multiple wives. So when you say polygamy, you're saying that either she can have multiple husbands or he can have multiple wives. When you're saying polygamy, you're saying strictly a man has multiple wives.
I'm with that. So either the woman or the man. Okay, I'm with that because this is ladies' night.
I just want to make sure that
hey, if you want polygamy, where you can have your husband, and your husband can have multiple wives.
Right.
But whatever the case may be, what is your idea? What do you guys foresee, and what's your vision for yourself as far as relationships are concerned?
Well, I'm engaged. So my ultimate, thank you. My ultimate goal is marriage, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't speak, I'm really big on words as well, and not speaking negative, but if for whatever reason this marriage does not work, I'm probably not going to get married again, just because I'm just like, I'm over it. Like, it was enough to get here. I would just have a lifelong partner and we would just do our thing. Like, I'm like, child, look, I'm one and done with this thing. But, and probably when I do that, it probably like, listen, we can love each other, but it's going to be for something else. Where the money is, something. But
so you will never, if this marriage doesn't go through, you will never have a traditional marriage again.
Yeah.
Probably just partner or something like that.
Probably, yeah. Just because it's like it just took too much to get here. Not too much like all bad experiences. It took enough to get here, and then it's a lot. Dating is
the ghetto.
Dating is ghetto. I hate it here.
It's
okay,
the ghetto.
So dating in this generation, in this day and age, is tough. Where you live matters. I live in Atlanta. No thanks. Okay. And I'm just like, it's tiring. It's exhausting. And
so how long did it take you to get engaged, Shalala?
Well, we were engaged in 6 months of dating.
Okay.
But the difference is this has actually been my friend. We've been friends for 15 years and best friends for 8. So we already had a very long, extensive history of knowing each other, doing everything together, traveling the world together. We never slept together, because I get that question a lot where people are like, was you still kind of, and I'm like, I wasn't even attracted to him. I was like, no. So, I was like, we're friends and that's it. We're not going to cross the line. I'm very serious about that. And then when I was supposed to see it, I was supposed to see it. So, for us initially, it was like, we got this in the bag. We've been knowing each other. You know my life. I know your life. We best friends. We travel the world. We do everything together. But then even in this season of engagement, it's been challenges because we have not dealt with each other in this capacity.
Yes.
And so I don't care, and it's like, so yes, you do absolutely. I will advocate for anybody all day long. You really need to push for being friends before you get in a relationship. Because I've been there, done that. Like, I've been single all this time. So I've dated a lot of people. Thank you very much, Blaze. But, like, having a friendship is so important. I think that even the things that we've gone through, we probably, if we were not friends and had a genuine mutual respect, at the end of the day, we respect and really do want the best for each other, even if it's not together, right? So I think it's so important that people have that. It's like, and we get this from so many couples, so many people that's been married. Like, listen, sometimes it's going to get rough, but what's going to help y'all is your friendship. That is going to help you. That is like the leverage that you have in this over people who just met each other. So, like I said, us coming to it, it was like, we got this. And then even in this, it's like, dang, Jesus, there's more levels to this. Because it's like, you didn't know me as this woman. You knew me as Shalala.
The homie.
That's my dog. I knew you as Mike. That's my dog.
Yeah.
But now, and I used to tell him, because he would pursue me. He's been in love with me for a long time. He would tell me, I'd be like, no, sorry, we're not doing that. But even I would be like, are you sure you want to do that? Because who I am in this stage is not who I am if we date. I have a whole nother set of expectations. And he would be like, nigga, I got it. Okay, I got it. I understand. And so, it's just us learning each other or relearning each other in this state. It's even in knowing each other 15 years, it's still challenges. And I can imagine if we just met each other a year ago. So to answer the question, we have been friends for a long time, best friends for a long time. We started dating during quarantine, actually, and 6 months later he proposed.
That congratulations again.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I applaud you guys for
marriage is definitely hard. You already know marriage is a lot of work. And I don't like to say hard because it's really not
challenging.
Hard.
It's challenging.
It's just a challenge. It's just something different. Trying to learn to partner with the same person for the rest of your life. It is a difficult task.
When you taking this and you trying to make this, you're trying to blend.
Yes,
blending lives. If you had children in place, blending lives with children, it's challenging when you're blending your makeup, baby. So it's a challenge, it's a challenge. And I think what separates people from who survive in marriage, who do not, outside of there being like domestic issues or whatever, we ain't talking about like tumultuous marriages, right? Or, somebody cheated. But what separates that is the willingness to say, we just gonna push through. We're really just going to push. And I have so much respect for people who have been married before or married for a long time. My admiration is here because I'm like, woo, child. Woo, the patience.
Yes.
The patience.
Yeah, the patience.
I'm gonna let you answer the question, but I want Sheree and Meek to explain their vision for their life and what they expect, what they want from their love life, and then I'm gonna let you go on, True.
I was gonna say a partnership. And I say that I know that's like some people don't like that word. But one of my closest like friends and like loved ones is my grandmother. And my grandmother is now 70 something years old. And she is all alone. And I see what being by yourself and being that I don't need a nigga for shit type of woman, where that can get you. And I see the downside of that. I see how she tries to make up for it, like, being kind of like too hands-on with certain things and other family, because everyone else got their life going and no one's forgot about grandma. But my grandma don't have someone to just send her flowers or give her flowers just because it's Wednesday, or to just wake up and say like you're beautiful, you know what I'm saying, or like to sit back and like reminisce and about something that happened during their time that I don't know nothing about and just cackle and giggle. Like my grandma does not have that. And I do think that there's like this sense of resentment and like loneliness that's like within her. So with that said, I want a partnership, because within a partnership, partnerships can change. It can be interchangeable. We can start off as monogamous. We get down 10, 15 years down. Kind of, I know people don't like this either. Kind of similar to like Will and Jada, where like the ejection button, like the escape button or like the end button is not, that's like non-existent. That's not even a part of the deal. Like once you were in this, we are in this by any means necessary, So like if we got to open up the marriage 15 years from now, we gonna come and we gonna have us, because like how she said, like your respect and your friendship is that tether that brings that hones everything back in. So if I sit back and we have this conversation of like, look, this is where we at. We got to be real with each other. This is where we at. Maybe we need to open this thing up. All right, like, and we both come to terms with that. I'm okay with. I'm like, because it's all for the partnership. I want him to be happy and I want him to want me to be happy, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So yeah,
so you don't want those kind of monogamy restrictions. You like,
we need whatever it takes. But my thing is not you out here cheating. Not like I, my thing is I'm very aware and I'm very in tune with myself, where like, if there's a problem, you can come and tell me. Corrective criticism is an actual thing. Like, yo, Meek, this is where we are at right now. And it's like, fuck, yes, that hurts. I'm not saying I won't feel it. I ain't saying it ain't gonna make me feel some type of way. But because I love you and have respect for you as a friend, you know what I mean? I have friends where I'm like, you know what? This is what's needed for the friendship, for the sake of the friendship. And we've surpassed like 10, 15 years of friendship. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. And the rules are going to have to change. I might not need to do that. All I'm saying is I'm just open to whatever it takes for that partnership to survive, because I do not want to be 70 something years old rocking on the rocking chair on the porch by myself. Like, I want my flowers.
You want a partner.
I want my flowers.
So what you think, Sheree? What you think? What's your vision for your life?
Definitely, ultimately, I want marriage. Definitely. I do plan to have children. I don't have any children right now. So I'm hoping to have one or two, depending on who I date. Because if he has a kid, I'm probably just gonna bring out one. But ultimately, I do want to have marriage. And then you add something. I don't necessarily. I know you said you get a little pushback about the partnership. I don't know if I want too much of a partnership. I think that's not like. I think that's why I made sure I put emphasis on leadership, because it's like I just hey lover boy, I just
You want him to be the head. You want him to take
Yes.
charge. Okay.
yes, I want him
So
to
you want him to pay the bills. You just kind of help. So what you want him to do? Because you say you contemporary, and now you want you.
No, I never made it seem like it's not a mixture. The thing is, it's just I understand that where we live in today, that's just me understanding what's going on today. I can't have these feelings and then not acknowledge what's going on around me. That's just dumb to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me not. I have to acknowledge it. So what I'm saying is, of course, I like the leader, but however, that's not saying that I'm not gonna know when to fall back, or when I'm supposed to be in this place of being traditional, because a man can pay the bulk of the bills or most of the bills or whatever the case is, and maybe even some people believe in paying half the bills. I just don't. But a man can pay majority of the bills and be a leader. It's like Meek said, it's in you. That is something that women gravitate towards without you talking.
Okay.
Right. So, but with that said, you don't think that he can lead within a partnership, because you can kind of you can compare it to like a science project where it's like, if you a better writer than I am, you gonna take the lead in that, or you might, or if you know this project, if you know this situation better than me, you're gonna take the lead in the project. We're still partners in this. We're still partners in this, but that does not mean that you can't take the lead. I think some people think partnership that is half and half. No, like we're in this together. Because that's the truth. We are in this together, but you might take a lead. Because I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to my man, you know what I mean? Like taking the lead or providing, paying for bills. I'm not opposed to any of that. I just emphasize partnership, because I think that when I say relationship, I think that the love and the emotions kind of like conscrew like what I'm looking for. Like I feel people kind of get swayed with that. And you look at partnership, you got to make hard ass decisions and remove the emotion out of it sometimes. You got to be willing to do that. Partnership, you got to be able to like delegate, like, all right, we moving this way, we pivoting, we doing it. And some people can't do that within relationships due to emotions and how they feel about things. So that's why I say partnership.
So the reason why I'm making that emphasis is because my man has the final say. So if he has the final say, how is this a partnership?
Because we're in it together.
We're in it together, of course.
He has the final say. It might not be a partnership, but
we're in this union together. This is our union. Yes, I hear you have a lead, but like we're in it together.
Yeah, I hear you with
and then also think about boards, right? So like you have partnerships within like companies, and within companies you have a certain percentage.
There's still a CEO and a CFO.
Exactly, and who makes the final decision? So, but there's still a partnership. I might have 45%, and you might have the rest, but like it's still a partnership.
Okay, so here's the thing. The men could not wait. They have to ask y'all some questions. They got like, they're like, no, we got to ask these women some questions, okay? And so
I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all.
I wanted to bring them on. There's a familiar face, Meek. JT, he's on.
Hey,
and
JT.
I want to shout out Mr. O. Oh my God, Mr. O. Love it. Y'all gotta follow his YouTube channel. He is something else. Like Mr. O living. What can you tell Mr. O? What do you tell him what your YouTube is?
My channel was Mr. O is Just Living.
It's Just Living, and he He was talking about men giving instruction to the women. He was on some. I was like, okay, Mr. O,
the way you said it, I didn't like the way you said it because it came out wrong. But
I'm sorry. I forgot. Mr. O is
it definitely was about that.
Say it. Exactly.
But with today's topic, that what you're talking about as far as what women want, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question. Y'all can go right in.
Yeah, let him ask his question because he was waiting. Go ahead, True.
Let me get that, and because
yes.
All right. Just to clarify what Sheree was saying, I agree. You know, when it's man and women, and when we're dealing with marriage, it's no partnership. It's divine order and structure. In business, it's divine order and structure. It's a tower of authority. So it always has to be that, and men respect that. We respect our women to understand that at the end of the day, we're going to have a discussion. We're going to use your input, but then the decision is made for us at the end. That's leadership. All right. For Miss Shayla, how you doing today?
Shalayla.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm good.
I'm sorry.
How are you?
Shalayla. Mm-hmm. How you doing today? Yeah, we was having a good little conversation down in the chat.
Absolutely, I agree.
So congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
You know, that's a beautiful thing. And, you know, I hope everything, and I will pray for your union to be successful because we need more of that. You know, I harp on Wanda's relationship all the time and, you know, tell her that she's a great example as well. So thank you for your example. Also, another thing that you represented is how to form a relationship out of friendship, which I think is very important. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to cross these lines because I won't mess up our friendship. We've been so good. But then what's better than marrying the person that know you the most?
Yeah.
It's nothing great. They know all your flaws. They know all your secrets. They know all your fears. They know your highs, your lows. That's your other half. That is the person you're supposed to marry. The 4 needs of a man is respect. The second one is sex. The third one is friendship. Yes. We want our actual woman to be our best friend. And then, of course, number 4 is a domesticated lifestyle, the household, the children, you know, the comfort, the peace. So everything that you was representing and the most beautiful thing. So you said even when y'all got together, y'all didn't have sex either?
No, I was talking about prior to us.
She said before.
Prior to us actually, getting together to officially date.
Oh, dang. I thought y'all went all the way through. I was about to say, yeah. But
you thought they did the Sierra and Russell Wilson, huh?
I thought they went all the way through. I thought they was going for the goal and everything like that. But that's still good. They never, you know, I guess you would say cross those lines and everything. Did y'all not cross those lines because y'all always had a relationship though?
Were you talking about when we were just friends?
Yes.
Didn't cross the lines because I didn't want to. We were friends. I was not interested in crossing the line. Just wasn't interested. I have guy friends in our relationship. We are allowed to have friends of the opposite sex.
Oh, that was the next sentence.
Yeah, we have friends of the opposite sex, but you know, he knows how I am. I was the same. He's known me for a very long time. He's known me in various stages of my life. So he knows how I move. So if we friends, we friends. You know, I'm not secretly what they call sneaky linking. I'm not sneaky linking with my friends and all that stuff. Like, you know, there's a respect that I know that he deserves and that I give him because he honors me the same way, and it's not a problem.
Right. So prior to y'all getting together, was you in a prior relationship?
On and off. I mean, I haven't been in a series. I've dated where it was like, oh, you know, a year here, a year there, a couple months there. But no, it wasn't always because I was in a relationship. It was just flat out because I wasn't on it.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's making more sense now. See, I thought it was something different. I thought y'all was like, you know, holding off, but you was already having somebody fulfill that void. So you ain't really need old boy touching you like that.
Well, it wasn't even, I went for a long time with being single, years with plural, like years being single where I wasn't seeing anybody and it wasn't that. It just, and he was still there. And he was, you know, if I had wanted to cross, he would have been like, all right, you know, because he would say like, I will give him a compliment in a second, Billy, relax. But you know, there would be times where he would be like, what are you afraid of? You know, why don't you want to? And I'm like, that's just not how I see you. And
Yeah.
it
Right.
took.
Was you having sex? Okay, so my question is
Uh-huh.
this: was you having sex with somebody? I understand you're saying you wasn't together, but was you intimate with somebody while right before y'all actually said we are together?
No, I was not.
Okay, so at that time you wasn't messing with nobody
Mm,
intimately or
no,
physically.
no,
Okay, great, great, great. I was
no.
just making sure of that. And my last question is this: oh, when is your actual marriage date? Y'all
The
have
wedding is Juneteenth, 2022.
All
a
right.
beautiful,
Purpose.
beautiful.
Purpose.
That's what I'm talking about.
All
So
right.
it
Yes.
sounds. I mean, everything again sounds good. Like I said, you got your best friend. Y'all understand each other. And that's the most important thing. You know, a man
I know,
wants a
True.
woman with understanding.
I want you to come on next week because
Oh
I,
no, I'm gonna have a
I
lot of.
want to talk about, what the women said and what the men said and how we can, kind of bridge that gap. So we gonna have another show, y'all.
Oh yeah,
I want Mr. O, I want JT, I want Daryl Crazy Stuff. I want all of y'all to come back. And I want to like really get together. I'm gonna have the ladies on too. I'm gonna have some ladies and we're gonna talk about like what the men said, what the women said, and we just gonna get together.
yeah, it's gonna be lit. It's
That's
gonna
gonna
be
be
lit.
good. Yeah. I wanna shout out JT. I wanna shout out Daryl
Mm-hmm.
because they came on here to support me as well.
Yeah,
And I love
shut me
them.
down.
They're my people. But Mr. O, tell me what
I'm just saying, bye.
oh,
See you later, Miss Wanda, Sheree, Miss Meek,
thank you, True.
and Shalayla, right? Okay.
Layla.
No, enjoy your blessing, man. Take care.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. All right, Mr. O, what you got to say? I know you got something to say about
Like it kind of like tied into like the topic that we were talking about today about are you a good deal? And when asking women like what they want, like I guess that's where y'all started with this, man. I don't think people really consider like they know what they want, but do they consider what they want, what that person actually wants in return? And when you talk about it, when you think about it, it's a deal between two people. Like two people, you want certain things. A woman wants generally certain things out of a man, and a man generally wants certain things out of a woman. And when you're getting those things that you want from the person that you want them from, things like love and all that other sex and all that tends to come as a result of that. So one thing people don't really consider is what the other person really wants. I just had this conversation with this woman a bit ago, and she's very she knows exactly what she wants in the man that she wants. But the way she carries herself is like she's gonna do what she wants to do with herself, and a man is gonna accept that. You
mm,
know, like
mm.
I know I want my man to be just like this. He has to do this, and if he don't do this, I don't want him. But I'm gonna dress like this and fix myself and career path this, and he's gonna accept this. And we live in a world where women just think that they can have it all. And at the end of the day, when the man has to make the investment on that woman for it to even be a forever, him going to Jared's and putting the ring on her finger, she really should consider what it is that he wants out of that same deal, because you want him to dive in front of bullets. You just didn't say that, but that's what you want from that man. So in return from that, he should get what he wants to, and I think we should consider what are we a good deal? Will we date ourselves? Is the question that we pose today.
What y'all think about that?
I think that's a great question. I think that's another,
Somebody
you
needs
know, one
somebody
of
needs
those.
to turn hold on. Somebody needs to turn this move off or
Yeah,
at least turn it down because we can hear the echo. Yeah.
I think that's a great question. I think again, that's one of those um, self-assessment questions that I think you should ask when you are dating or getting to know or vetting someone. You should ask those questions for sure. I have a whole thing of questions that I always was asking when I was dating or getting to know somebody that I tell, and they're like, "That's a good question." I mean, absolutely. But I think asking that question to yourself, would I want to date me?
Right.
Because if you write down what you think your qualities are and then what other people say your qualities are, if you weigh the two, and if you like, ugh,
Mm.
if you wrote these down and gave that to someone and you said, would you date somebody like that? And if they were like, no, baby, you need to do some
No
introspection
problem.
because you're not dateable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I like what he said as well.
So hold on 1 minute, Shalala. I know you gotta go, hon. You can log off. I appreciate you. What's your IG so people can follow you? Because people want to follow you, and I don't know if it's private. I don't know if it's public. I don't know if you want people following your IG.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. So my IG, I'm gonna actually type it at the bottom. It's Shay the Bay. So it is. I'm gonna copy it for you. It's SHAY_THA_BAE. So it's at Shay the Bay on IG, and I believe Twitter as well. But yeah, absolutely feel free. It's a public page.
Thank you. I did put it in there so people can follow you. I appreciate you, Queen. First of all, we are so happy for you. But you know you got to come back because I really want to hear your perspective, and I want you to, hear these men and kind of figure out how we can get together and make some resolution.
Yeah, because they done jumped on. I mean, they ready. They like, tag me in, boss, tag me in. I'm ready. So
the men on my channel be like, nah, I'm about to say something to these.
I was like, wait, where they come from?
They coming for y'all. So we're gonna definitely come back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm about to wrap up anyway, but I just wanted to, make sure.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yes, honey.
That's Shay.
That's Shay. All right.
Peace, guys. Peace, guys. Thanks for bringing me up, Tawana.
Yes.
I think that you guys did a very good night. A very good job tonight. The show was dope. Sheree, Tawana, Meek. Pleasure to meet you tonight. I didn't come up to Tawana because I'm doing a lot of other stuff in the background, as you already know.
Yeah.
But, thank you for having this show and allowing men to really learn from women. It's a lot of spaces where it's a lot of men talking about what women want and what women should be doing. And these guys are wrong. I'm not going to drop no names. That's not what we're doing tonight. But you know who I'm talking about. And it's not just one person. It's a lot of different spaces where women are being told to be, I don't want to use the word pick me's, but pick me's. And that's not just what men want. Men like modern women and traditional women. It's really about your preferences. Like me, I love dark-skinned women with very pretty eyes. I think that it all depends on what you want, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave my email, in the chats or whatever, for anybody who wants to get in touch with me.
YouTube in our chat too, Daryl, because I want people to follow you. Okay. And I definitely will make sure Meek drops her info. Sheree will drop her info before they leave, and you all can follow them. And I think you're gonna fall in love with Meek Page. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be like liking her pictures, like that's cute. Look at that. I mean, she's so.
Look forward to that. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for supporting me and shouting us out. I appreciate you.
Peace, ladies.
What you got to say, JC? Because I know you were saying like some women can't handle the truth. I saw your comment, and I
highlighted it. It was not like that because y'all was talking a lot, and I forgot what was said at the time for me to make that comment. I know somebody was talking about they would respect the man, and he just spoke the truth. And sometimes the truth is how you would say it. It's not easy to give because then you were trying to respect the lady feelings because you don't want to hurt her feelings. So that's what I meant by I think you can't handle the truth. But I wanted to go back and listen to it because I forgot the topic.
That's what it was. We were saying that, and we were like, we just want men to tell us the truth regardless. And you
another point that was said. I forgot who said it, but like I respect a woman can have a hard day. A woman told me one time it's okay to have a bad day, and it's okay to have a bad day because you're not perfect in relationships. And men have bad days, women have bad days.
Do you have your YouTube on?
I don't have YouTube on.
Oh, okay. Somebody got an echo going on. Hold on.
I'm on my phone, so my YouTube will be.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. It's gone now. I don't know what happened.
I really want to wait. I want to wait till the other fellas come in, but I can spit a little bit. But I just feel like women and men are entitled to have bad days in relationships. Like I think Meek pointed out one time, like she's not gonna cook all day. That's something a man expects, in a relationship. And I feel like relationships are evolving now. A woman don't have to cook all the time. If a man know how to cook, it's not just a woman's job to cook. You can balance it out. And I feel like, honestly, that's what helps relationships. Like, if you know your girl had a bad day and stuff like that, and then you just get up there. You might have got over had a worse day, work harder than her, depending on your work and stuff that y'all do at y'all job. You still go down and just cook it, and hopefully she appreciate that. Pay attention to the small things, because it's like always, you want to keep doing those small things that your girl or your husband wife, boyfriend, or however you want to say it, and stuff like that, pays attention to. It's the small details. That's what keep a strong relationship. Keeps the trust, the loyalty, the respect, all that. So I mean, it's just small paying attention to small details in relationships. And men look for that, and women look for that now. So that's all I'm just gonna say on that topic. But
I really love that Mr. O said something like, you gotta, I mean, it is based on who you're with. You have to listen to what that person wants.
it's a
And
balance.
you have to listen to what men want. That's why it was so important for me to hear what men wanted last week, because I really wanted us to hear what they had to say. And I didn't argue with them. I didn't challenge them. I really just listened and really just tried to inhale everything, even Mr. Rucker crazy stuff, talking about prenups and all this other mess. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna let the women just air it out. And the women, they told y'all what they like. They told y'all what they want. I mean, they didn't say nothing too crazy. I feel like it was, they want you to understand that we have pain. Women, black women, we not superwoman. I think my husband actually said that to me one day. He was like, "You superwoman." I was like, "No, I'm not.
That's not a compliment.
I think
It's not a
It's
compliment.
not.
I mean, I know
turned
people
off.
mean well.
It
I
can't
know
be
people
taken
mean
in a
well,
compliment though.
but it's
Yes.
what I'm
You
saying
meant
is,
well.
yeah, like you mean well, but what I'm saying is it gets heavy. Like it gets really heavy, and like
It get
I
it
don't
get heavy on both sides, and like
exactly.
we
Yes.
No
can't.
facts.
A man can't never really tell how a woman feels because he's not a woman, and the same thing with a woman can't tell how a man feels because she's not a man.
Right.
But like, Tawana made me lose my train of thought. I was about to say something when she was
Well,
talking.
Um,
I'll say something.
Come on, Mr. O.
It's like people like get caught up in like, why we aren't together now. We have all these reasons. When there's a no fault divorce, there's all kind of reasons why people say they split up and whatever. And like they just talking because like there's a deal. Like your topic is what women want, and my topic was, are you a good deal? There's a deal being made regardless. And what if you get into a car with a man for a first date? The deal is he's going to protect you. He's going to get you to point A to point B. I don't care if the Ku Klux Klan or the cops pull you over. If that person violates you, he's going to protect you. This is the deal being made. You're not talking about it. When you're in a relationship and the woman's like, he cheated on me and it's over, and women say you deserve better and all this, but like there's a deal that was in place. Maybe he cheated on you, but did you stop cleaning the way you used to? Because that was what he wanted out the deal. He wanted simple shit, and you wanted big shit, diving from the bullets. But I wanted just a clean house. So if I don't get what I want, you're going to digress on it. Ain't that big of a deal. I'm going to be passive on that because it's just a clean house. Like at the end of the day, you're supposed to dive in front of bullets for me. But no, that's what he wanted. And so when you stop cleaning the way you used to, and he started going somewhere else to a girl that didn't look as good as you, but she kept a clean house, you broke the deal first. He didn't cheat on you. You broke the deal. The deal, it always exists, man. You got to consider what the other person wants. You can't be too big not to hear the woman that you with because your ego's so big that you only focus on what you want. You're gonna have a good record of knocking women, but sustaining them is a whole nother thing.
there it
The
is.
things that sustain a relationship are people getting what they want out of the person that they with.
Right.
If you ask somebody that was married for 30 years plus and you like, y'all got into that simple little fight for the 90th time about the same thing, what made you go to 91? Because I really wanted him. and I got what I was getting, what I wanted out of the deal. He slacked on this, but for the most part, he takes care of the man shit, and I give him all of that he asks for, and it's small shit, but I keep giving it to him because I want him. You gotta want the person to even want to do what they want you to do anyway.
Go ahead, Meek. I know you.
We the ladies, we spoke on emotional voids, and I think that that's something too that needs to like be addressed before we even try to like step into a union with anyone. Like that, if you're able to address those emotional voids that's within, that once your partner steps into the max, whatever he pours into you
Emotional
is
boys are
extra.
men.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What you
You
say?
said emotional boys, or you talking about emotional
No,
men?
Oh, void.
no voids, emotional
Oh, I'm
voids.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
thought
No,
you
I'm
thought
not
you
call,
said
I'm not
emotional
calling it.
void.
No.
Yeah,
Emotional voids. If you're able to address those within yourself and work on those, and you're aware of those, that when your partner comes in, whatever he pours into you, it's just extra. Like you're not seeking your partner from a deficit. And I think that's a key thing too, is that like people don't check in with themselves and be like, okay, well, what's in the driver's seat right now? Am I searching out like right now because I'm lonely, because I want attention, because I need, I want that man in my bed, I need a body in the bed? Like, are we coming from that space, or are we coming from maybe not a full space, but like my cup is way more than 50%? You get what I'm saying? I know where I'm at. I don't need I'm not and I'm not in desperate need of this man to pour into me. But once he pour into me, it runs over. So now I'm even more than what I could have been by myself. And I think that makes a huge difference.
I can appreciate that perspective, like from a woman's perspective. You'll see that situation like that, and I think that space for your mind to even think like that only exists because the man in your life isn't occupying your mind the way he should. Like it ain't about that. It when you worry about what somebody's gonna do in a relationship, like guys worry about a woman cheating or something like that, but like if she's busy with your plans, she don't have time for that. Like you're really not sustaining her the way she needs to be. And so like y'all are trying to find these reasons emotionally on why there's gaps in the relationship or whatever. But I don't think that's even your job. Like when you with me, I'm supposed to be occupying those spaces of your mind so that you don't even feel that way. I mean, you trying to like diagnose why the things are the way that they are.
I mean, but like if a woman is coming and she has things that she hasn't dealt with within herself, I don't even think a man should be with her. And I think that as men, you guys can see that. You can see a woman that has certain types of baggage where it's be like, okay, you need to work on that. Like, like she's not in the space to be a wife. As to why men don't marry a lot of these women.
But who's
So
supposed to pull that woman out of that? Another woman or herself?
no.
Um,
I'm not saying a thing of pulling, but like if you're dealing with a woman that's unaware, like she's completely unaware of her baggage and where she is at all.
I mean, when I can't blame her for what happened in life before she met me. But like,
I'm
if
not
she's in
blaming,
my
but
life, then maybe she's meant to meet the man to give her that clarity.
Can I say something?
This is no. Let me tell y'all this. This is exactly the conversation I want to have on Sunday. Cause see, I would love to hear y'all battle it out. Cause I feel like this
I
is
don't
the
know.
type of
I
dialogue.
still I still got a full tank, but I wanted to ask this
Okay,
though,
go ahead,
like,
Lacey. Go ahead.
um, if someone just brought up, I think Mr. O had mentioned it about, you know, it's funny how when you're in a relationship, uh, guys can go probably talk to another woman or talk to their partner and get an understanding, or a girl can, or your wife or your female can go talk to their friends, their girlfriends, or something like that. I would say another man. It just depends on that situation. I mean, not on no funny business, but what I'm saying is, then you be like, damn, you hearing what he's saying, you hearing what he's saying, or you hearing what she's saying, and I'll be like, if you come back and then try to throw it back in my face, what was you talk to your girl about? Sometimes that happen. I'm like, damn, I've been telling you that. Oh no, but you're not understanding it how I'm giving it to you. Cause like I feel like in a relationship, people and he brought up about 90. You've been arguing about the same stuff, and like you're on a 91 argument. Because I feel like in a relationship, we don't listen to each other. And, men do it and women do it. We cut each other off. And you know for a fact you can't stand if your husband or your boyfriend cut you off when you're trying to express yourself, especially if you're expressing how you feel. If you're very emotional at the time, expressing how you feel, men don't like it neither. Because a lot of people be quick to what they say, how I say is listen. They don't listen. They're quick to respond and just listen.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you really want to listen to a person and they pouring their heart out to you or saying what's on their mind, you gotta respect that and listen to that person. And then when it's done, you gotta return the same. The man has to listen, then the woman has to listen. That's the best way to communicate. And I feel like bringing your relationship to outside people, they're not going to have that same view or the same feelings, the same emotions you have. Because, the first thing you be like, man, leave that girl. Your partner tell you leave her, because he don't have the emotion or vice versa. Your girlfriend, you need to leave that man. He giving you too much trouble and stuff like that. But they're not in the same.
We listen to our friends on both sides. Like men talk to they guys, and then women, we talk to our girls. But we don't necessarily do what they tell us to do.
Wait,
no, you don't.
But JT,
you don't. But some people do though.
What you're speaking on is what we were talking about earlier, and that's about creating a space within your union. And what I'm saying, going back to the conversation between me and Mr. O, is that there has to take a certain level of self-awareness to be able to do that within that space. So for you to even occupy my mind, for us to even have this conversation, and for you to fill that space, there still needs to be some level of awareness on my part. And if you going and you dealing with a woman that is blind, like I kind of question that. You know what I mean? Like
you're referring that to me, like questioning what you said. Say the last thing you said.
Oh, I was saying, because like what you're talking about is how you say like people have to be able to listen, right? And be able to really listen and take in what their partner is saying. And what that is that's creating a safe space for each other to be vulnerable and to speak our truths. You have to create that space with your partner, with your man and with your woman, right? Vice versa. But what I was speaking of is that there's a level of awareness that a woman should be a part, that a woman should be at. And she should be at that awareness before she even. I feel women are so focused on the ring that they're missing some steps before they get to the ring. Your man should not have to like carry you from this from point zero all. He shouldn't have to do that. Like that's too much that's a heavy load. He really shouldn't have to do that. So I personally believe that there is a level of self-work and self-awareness that needs to take part, because in order for me to be like, you know what, I'm not even trying to argue with you, let's create this safe space, JT, where we can have this, it takes a level of self-awareness, of self-work. Mm-hmm. If you do not have that, you're not going to be able to create those spaces that you're talking about. And that's exactly. That's where I'm thinking.
It get to a point like you will have to tape record yourself, be like, you said this. I didn't say that, because you don't even know you said it. I'm like, you just said that, like,
or how
like,
you said it. Or how you say it. I was just witness to this the other day, and like some people are completely unaware of not even the words they say, but the energy that is tacked on to the projection of what they're saying. So what the person is seeing is like, yo, you're being dismissive right now, and the first thing that person said was, that was not my intention. It's not. It doesn't look good. The stairwells to hell was built on good intent. So the question of your intent is not. That's not what we're questioning. It's about how it was transferred to me, and some people are unaware of that.
Do you follow Christianity? Are you believe in Christianity? Are you Christian?
I wouldn't. I do not. I consider myself spiritual, but I wouldn't deem myself as like I'm a Christian.
Well, I knew that.
Like
I wouldn't deem myself as a Christian.
Because like I think that like there's a general understanding as to like why we're here, why the man is here, and why the woman exists, and based on those structures of Christianity, like they say that like a woman, does she find herself by herself, or does she find herself in her marriage? And I think I'd like to believe that I personally don't. I would probably more be opted to take a woman that hasn't found who she was yet, and me giving her the direction instructions that we talked about the other day from me, and she finds out like what her purpose was within her kinship to me, you know, versus finding how to fit herself after she's found her own self into what the man got going on, based on what she thinks she can give. And
Right. But I'm not questioning what I'm talking about. Self-awareness and self-purpose is two different things. Like it's
explain
just
that.
it's exactly that awareness. I'm aware of what I am aware of things I need to work on. I'm aware of like where my communication skills are. I'm also aware of like there's things I still need to learn. I'm aware of that. Like you have people that are not aware of how they show up in this world. Now, my purpose is not it. Yeah, my awareness may contribute to the purpose, but that doesn't mean that my purpose has been found, and it does not mean that my purpose cannot be found or constructed under my unionship with my man and by with my man. It does not mean that. So it's
Right.
two different. I believe it's two
So
different things.
if we're speaking about the purpose, then within that same structure aligned with said purpose, they also say that the woman goes from her father's roof directly to her husband's, leaving no space for the gap year to find yourself. You know, you go directly from dad to husband. Part of that vetting process includes dad, pastor, uncle. It isn't based on your own butterflies and you finding yourself. You really do become a woman under the roof of the man you're supposed to be with.
Well, let me say this.
Under that structure.
Let me
Hey,
say
Tawana, they had a
Ultraviolet brought up a good point that I did not let the women invade the men. I let the men speak freely, and now we got to fight for our beliefs and our.
look. We helping your ratings. We making it controversial.
Y'all,
I'm a backslider. I'm not a Christian at all. So
I want to end it with Meek and Sheree pretty much telling us what women want, but I want to recap and just talk about what we discussed. You know, for me, what I heard was that women want security. We want love. We want leadership. We want a man that's emotionally intelligent, but also have mental stability. But we also like physically fit men. We like attractive men. We want a man that we are physically attracted to as well as a man who can provide. And we don't necessarily add a monetary value to that, but we want a man that's financially literate, financially smart, and know how to take care of the home. I recapped what I heard, but I want the ladies to end it off telling us what they want, not Mr. O, what he think a woman should be. Blah, blah, blah. I'm saying I want to know what Sheree and what
I can say one thing, Tawana.
No, you can't say nothing else.
No, I'm just asking. You want that to come in a full package, or that should be developed in a relationship? All the things you just said.
We won't.
You feel like the man should come with that?
We won't. I mean, some stuff we're willing to give on, but we want the man to have most of those characteristics when we meet them. We want the leadership.
I think sometimes the best women bring that out of men.
Don't dispute what I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen, we're going to talk
about
that next time. I want to hear what Sheree and me got to say. So stop it, JT. You trying to argue. See, man, y'all can't do right. You know, y'all supposed to come on here, ask the question, and go on. All right, Sheree, you wrap us up. You tell us, and share your IG as well. Share how you want people to follow you, and you wrap us up. Tell us what you think women want.
Okay. Sheree B Chicago is the IG. Sheree B Chicago is the YouTube channel as well. So it's that simple. Sheree B Chicago, as my name is shown.
Subscribe, follow her.
Right. And then thank you, Anna. And then the page is about community in Chicago and how we can build it and make it better. And I highlight people who are doing the work, informing, teaching or helping the community in Chicago. And I dibble into relationships because relationships, family, it builds the community. So we have to talk about it. All right. I said before, the physicalness, we already talked about that fit. At least an inch taller than me when I'm in my heels. You know, that's what I said. I like them kind of bulky or big. When muscular. I said strong leader, family oriented, and gentleman. I don't think I really kind of elaborated on it. I just pretty much stamped it and said that's what it is. So I guess I'll elaborate a little bit on it. A strong leader is, I need that because I need someone to lead my relationship, lead the family. I need that. I need my head to make sure he know what he doing. That's what I'm looking for. Family oriented, because I want a family, so I need you to be family oriented so that we can build a family together. That's very important to me. And a gentleman, because a gentleman is just gonna know how to move around in a room and know how to take care of me as well and how to work with me. So a roughneck can even be a somewhat of a, but I'm not really into that. But what I'm saying is just a gentleman. What I'm saying is just a gentleman. A man who knows how to put on a suit and also put on his gym shoes. You know what I mean? So
but you want him to have a little edge.
Yeah, a little edge.
Just a little edge. You don't want him to be just a stick in the mud. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I said I went to South Shore. No.
Let me hear about Meek's man, because she want her a nerdy man that's got his stuff.
I guess you eclectic, think outside the box. I like it when the divine masculine within him can speak to the divine feminine within me. And security, like to feel safe. Like I said, I should, like, by all means, also stability, stable. And that also means mental, stability, not just it's definitely not just monetary. Yeah. And how can I say, it's just all around, just a good person. Like, he's a pillar within his village, within his community, within his realm that he is present in. So that's it.
We want you a man that's kind of got him some leadership skills, that's kind of distinguished himself from the pack, and he's confident in who he is.
Confident. You have to, dealing with a woman like me, you have to be confident within yourself. I tend to raise a lot of insecurity within, like insecure men. Like, yeah. I tend to, and I'm not, that's not a boast or a brag. It's really not. It causes a lot of issues. So yeah.
You have to have security. For me, my man have to be confident. He have to have security. Yeah. But I don't like very loud men, because I'm a loud person and extroverted. So it's a little loud people. It's a little bit of a turn off for me when he too extroverted and too I like the men that's just kind of like they chill, they cool, but if they need to step out, they are intentional about what they talk about. Exactly. And they don't really need to talk about anything outside of that. They let me, run my mouth because they just know that that's what I am, and then they just be like, whatever.
Right. Or even just intentional with
protect you, huh?
Yes, that's what
security.
I need. That's what I need. I need that. I need security. I have to feel secure. I have to feel safe with him. I have to feel like I'm loved and I'm taken care of. I know people wanted to know my opinion and how I felt. All of the things the lady said, all of those things. Yeah. And I love a man who's financially secure and a man who's financially stable is the most attractive man to me. Call me a hypergamist, call me whatever you want to call me, but that's what I am. Because
it's so crazy, because it's not the monetary, but it's something about seeing a man at work. Like when he his brain is working, he got project. I'm like, oh my God, like,
yeah, I'll be like,
what you got going?
And y'all like messing with him when he focus, huh?
No, hell no, absolutely not.
Women do that. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to focus
right now because I'm working on this. Oh, okay.
I love you, ladies. You guys killed it. I know everybody was dropping diamonds every time. I don't even know what y'all said. Everybody was dropping diamonds every time y'all opened your mouth. They loved y'all so much. Follow Meek on IG. Meek, go ahead and tell them your IG. So they can follow it. I put it in the chat.
My IG is Meekdes.Johnson. Meekdes MEKDES.Johnson. It's my government.
Yes. Yes. And she be posting, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Okay. So follow Sheree, follow Meek. Come back on Sunday. I'm gonna be talking about everything else. I'm gonna let JT and Mr. O air it out if they come on. I'm gonna let y'all just go. I'm not gonna stop you.
Hey, I wanted to say I don't
Hey, I'm
believe in
gonna
any of that
listen
stuff
first
I was
before I
talking about.
respond.
Go ahead, Mr. O. What did you say?
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
my
believe
bad.
in any of that stuff I was talking about come and get the girl from daddy's house. Like I just was giving pushback as to
Yes.
I wonder
I
what
get it.
people's belief systems, the foundations, but I don't personally believe in none of that. You know, I'm
Mr.
not.
O, do you
I
want to
get
share
it.
your YouTube before you leave? Because I want to make sure we put it on here. What's your
Yeah,
YouTube?
Mr. O is just living. Y'all check me out. I think we opening it up for the ladies on Tuesdays, and I guess we just doing Thursdays too. Coming in early, giving a player's perspective. Me and my brother Hef, and just giving a different point of view. No unplayer shit going on over there. We all on some real smooth player shit, and not trying to argue with women back and forth to the teeth about things. We're like really trying to help both of us communicate better. We
That's
got
right.
to hear one another,
I
and you
love
got to
it.
understand both sides, right? So that's what we're talking about.
And JT is on Mr. CYP with me and Meek. We come on every Wednesday. Check us out. It is 5:30 Pacific, which 7:30 Central Time. I always say Central Time because I'm in Chicago. I gotta represent. So come on 7:30 Central Time. We on Mr. CYP, and you'll see JT, you'll see Meek, and we be clowning on there too. So thank you, Gems and Jules. Last but not least, I love y'all. Y'all are my people. Y'all qualified people for me. Y'all let me know, like, yeah, Tawana, you on to something. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. All righty. Take care. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.
All right, me.
Of course. Of
Bye.
course.